Welcome, my beautiful people. Oh, it has been so long since we have sat down and actually had a pop culture conversation on this channel. You guys have had to watch me struggle through gaming Elden Ring, which is a little bit like a slow kid with butter strapped to his feet running through a hallway of marble. I know it's been a tough go, but I appreciate you guys backing me up. D23 came out recently, and there is just a smattering of news that we have to go over tonight. I have with me, you know him, you love him, my good friend since I started this channel, Moff Rissman.
Been a minute now since you started this channel, hasn't it?
It has been a minute now. It's kind of crazy when you look back at all the different stages it's gone through. It's almost like a little human, right?
Yeah.
It was happy and joyous, and then it went through puberty, and a bunch of people were fighting with each other, and then it turned into an angsty teenager, and then now it's finally kind of coming into its own as what it should be, right?
I guess.
What it should be, I guess. How are you tonight?
I'm well. Doing real well. Yeah,
Glad to hear it. Chat is absolutely going nuts right now. I think this is one of those nights where I'm not going to run through and say hi to absolutely every single person that is here. But hello, members. It is so good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm glad to have you back. There's one person I got to call out in particular, my sister. Wicked Virtue is in the chat. What's up? How you doing tonight? Good to see you. And Wiley Dave, I got to call you out because this dude has sent me, you know how I'm a big fan of like 12-inch figures?
Yep.
Okay. I have about 37 of these 12-inch figures that this guy sent me. I mean, loads of them from every corner of the freaking galaxy. I've got a whole buttload of these 12-inch figures. It's been incredible. I love it. Check this one out. This is one of my particular favorites. Action Collection Wedge Antilles and Big's Dark Light.
There you go.
In box. Wow. I mean, come on. Get out of Dodge.
Very cool.
Isn't it? The artwork's awesome. I love it. Wiley Dave, I can't thank you enough for sending this stuff. It has been awesome. Thank you so much. And by the way, I don't know if you knew this, but John Graber sent me a package as well.
Really?
Would you like to see what he sent me?
Yeah, let's see it. I see him in the chat. Yes, I am alive, John.
Yeah, John.
Last time I checked. Valiant stole my joke about Kiadimundi. Yeah, I saw the figure. I was like, how old is he? Who knows? Who cares? It's all over the place. You're muted. Again. Some things never change, no matter how old the channel is.
The same problem.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah. Is
Riva.
it?
Just what you always wanted, Riva.
Riva, the Bland Inquisitor, and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
There you go.
All three. Wow. I mean,
wow, those really flew off the shelf, didn't they?
Yeah, I was excited.
They're collector's items now, for sure.
Liked them so much, he threw them in a box and he sent them to me. It's
like, I know what to do with this trash. I'm going to send it to
I'll just send it next week. Fuck that guy.
Terrible. That's terrible. Only John.
I see some OGs in the chat. What is up, Ladage? Good to see you, my brother. And holy scrimoli, 50 people in the chat, and a $50 donation from Whitney Studios says a little something for Lily's special day. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. To anybody who doesn't know, Lily was baptized today. She had her baptism. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. She did really good. You would think like the kid would be screaming, right? You got a weird dude pouring water on your head. She was laughing the whole time. She's like, you have no power here.
laughing, getting baptized. I'm not quite sure how to take that. But okay.
Part of me was like a little bit concerned. I'm like, is this normal?
I don't know. I would have been better if she maybe was screaming a little bit, right? I don't know.
Whitney Studios for the 50. Thank you so much. This is for you. And as always, Dad drops in the chat. Language. He's grooming me.
Oh, good. Well.
Honestly, I've been trying to be a better person, but I make mistakes. You know what I mean?
It's hard.
We're gonna try to keep this one clean. We're gonna try to keep this stream clean, family friendly, but we are gonna talk about Star Wars. So there's a pretty good chance we run into some problems here.
Someone's gonna swear. Someone's gonna swear.
But anyways, thank you so much, chat, for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the 50. That was huge. Let's get into some pop culture. Let's talk about D23, the one day a year where Disney gets to go. We actually know what we're doing.
Well, they sure did it up with style this time. I mean, but leave it to Disney to double monetize their own event, right? So I think you had to buy a ticket to get into the Anaheim Convention Center, and then to do the big stuff that they did at the Honda Center. So they also rented out the Honda Center. I think it holds maybe 20,000 folks. I think it was pretty full. I don't think they had 20,000 people there necessarily, but that's where they did all these big announcements, right? This where packed them into the stadium and had all kinds of folks there, really glitzed it out. So they really went all out this year.
I saw a bunch of different, they were doing like different exhibits and stuff like that. I know they had like a big Marvel exhibit where you could look through the TVC windows and stuff like that. Yeah, I saw stuff like that. But for the most part, I stayed away from trailers and everything almost entirely through the whole event because I wanted to do a show where it was like, okay, let's look at what we got and talk about it organically. Because usually I watch it and then I watch a couple other YouTubers talk about it. I'm like, oh, that was dumb. I didn't want to do that this time. I wanted a natural, organic reaction as to what's going on. By the way, real quick, huge shout out to my first subscriber ever, Nate Nemmer. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. And my good friend Star Wars Dog, Mod here over at the Hangar Bay. Good to see you, brother. Okay. So let's go.
All right. Let's do it. Get this document up.
Where do we want to start?
We can start with let's start with the entertainment stuff that they announced. Let's see here. There you go. So this article here, I just grabbed it from I think this is the Hollywood Reporter, right? But they started out by announcing. It's funny. This was what night was this? Friday night, right? This was Friday night, and I guess it was 7 o'clock local time, 7 to 9. So it's obviously it was 10 to midnight here, and so I was up. So I was like, all right, I'm going to see what they announced. They went 45 minutes of everything but Star Wars, right? And then they crammed like 3 little Star Wars things in, and then they went right to Marvel. So I'm like, I had to wait almost to midnight to get the Star Wars news. But some of this might mean more to other folks out there. I mean, I'm not big on the Disney produced movies, whether they be Disney themselves or Pixar. There's a lot of Pixar announcements, a lot of sequels, a lot of different things coming. So we can just run through these, and looks like there are some trailers embedded here. I don't know how many trailers you want to play. If we see one that you like,
check out. So Mufasa is going to be a prequel, right?
I think so.
The rise of Mufasa.
Yeah, and these things are so CGI heavy now. I mean, and I know that's the thing, but to me, I just don't like the look of it, right? I mean, I know you can't have like real talking animals, obviously. So there's limited ways to go about this. It would
be tough. They could get Joe Exotic out of prison and try to work something out, I guess, but it would be difficult.
Yeah.
But let's watch it. Mufasa, official trailer. We're going to get hit tonight, by the way, everyone. Just a by the by, we're going to get hit tonight. So, if the stream goes down, just hang out a couple seconds. We'll be back in just a minute. But Disney has been particularly stingy about YouTubers sharing stuff.
Yes.
Particularly stingy. I know a couple big YouTubers that had their stuff got yatted.
So I wonder what happens if there we go. Make it a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Let's get it over here. And we'll get it started.
It's time. I'll tell you a story. A story of a cub, not much bigger than you.
So just to be clear, we're not in this story?
There's a lot of stories with all of us. Tell one of those.
Long before they became legends, Mufasa and the prince who would come to be known as Scar became brothers.
Hello, what's your name?
Mufasa.
I
See, I
told
don't
you to
mind
wait
this.
for me. We
Huh?
can't just leave him here.
Rules are rules, Tucker. The king will never accept a stray.
I'm not a stray. I'm just lost.
We do not associate with outsiders. Tucker is the future king. We must protect the bloodline.
But, Dad, I saved his life. I have a secret, Mufasa. I always wanted a brother. I always wanted a brother.
That's smart.
I always wanted a brother.
Sometimes I get a scent. It's barely a trace on the wind. And it smells like home. And then it's gone.
You and Tucker together, that is home. Now both of you go. Find your place in the circle of life.
The circle is broken. There will be one Lion King.
Mufasa, run!
Wait, why are they on a
fight
snowy
together.
mountain?
I have no idea.
If we fight, we die.
Just to be clear, I never signed up for this.
Kazu's alive? Okay.
I'm here to protect you, my brother.
Mufasa! This was a bad idea! We're alive! I did it! I saved us!
You were saying?
All right. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm down for that. I could be up for it.
You all right with that?
Yeah. So for me, look, here's the thing. Maybe. How do you ruin the lore of Lion King, right? I mean, it's a prequel. It's going to be fun. The CG. I'm not the kind of guy that bashes anything from dude, did Renegade raid us? That would explain why there's 338 people here right now.
Yeah. While we were playing the trailer, they all showed up.
What's up, everybody from Valiant Renegade? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. We're just going over a lot of the same stuff, but please feel free, hang out, enjoy. Good to see you. Drunk 3PO says, so Scar is not a bad guy and Mufasa wasn't part of the bloodline and all the bad lions are white? I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't read into it that deep. Is that what's going on? Well, I mean, so that's kind of like the way I would think about it. If you're doing a prequel, it was kind of like watching episode 3 and you're like, wait a minute, Vader's not a bad guy and he's hanging out with Obi-Wan. That doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Where's his black armor? I don't know. I guess we'll have to see it and see where it goes. You know what I mean? But Matt, I'm not mad at that. I think that could be fun.
So I mean, I have to admit, I've not seen any of the Lion Kings, right? So for me, I've
never seen a Lion King movie.
No.
What the what?
So I'm just judging it. I'm just judging it off of its own merits, and like I said, with that much CGI, I just personally don't find it interesting.
How have you never seen a single Lion King movie?
Just never have.
Wow. Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Gatekeepers time out. You can't ruin the lore of Lion King, Disney. Oh my bear. Yeah. MGM saying it's not ratioed yet. For me, I think stuff like that, they can pull stuff off like that. It depends. They got to be careful. They can't overdo it because here's what's going to happen. That'll be successful, and then they're going to be hunting through every single movie they can find and going, let's make a prequel for that one.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see this theme a lot, especially as we get into Pixar. I mean, it's just, to me, how many Toy Story movies do you need, right? Apparently at least 5, right? And counting, you know what I mean? It's like
You're making another Toy Story.
Yeah, it was announced.
Ooh, did we get a trailer?
I don't remember. It's in the list. We'll see. But this one I am actually excited for. The next one, Tron Ares, coming here I forget when it releases. Maybe it's 2026. Maybe it's next year. Maybe it's this year. I forget. But Tron Ares is coming. But they're doing something I didn't expect, which they discussed here, and that's they're sort of bringing the world of Tron into our real world. So instead of going into the grid, this time the grid is coming into our world.
Wasn't that the whole point of the last Tron movie, was making sure that they didn't get out?
That's usually been the premise of Tron kind of at its core, right? So somehow they get out, of course.
Somehow the grid returned.
And the big reveal at the end, this was not a trailer that they released. This was only for people in attendance. But they announced 9 Inch Nails.
Though, right?
It's out there, right? They announced 9 Inch Nails will be doing the music, or at least some of the music will be buying 9 Inch Nails.
That's kind of interesting.
This. I don't know.
What I'm saying. Clue was like the whole point of Clue was trying to get out and bring, like, am I missing something?
No.
Okay.
That's why I'm like, they're like, basically we're bringing the grid out and all this. I'm like, isn't that against the whole point of Tron? I'm like, okay.
I don't really get it. Oh no. Tell me Jared Leto's not in that fucking movie.
Yeah, he's the lead. He's the lead.
No.
Yes, he's the lead.
No.
I mean, I didn't cast him, but he is the.
I'm sure there will be plenty of 30 Seconds to Mars music in that video.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a thing that will happen. Do we know if they're bringing back? Do you remember the name of the guy who was his son? I don't remember. What his name is. He reminds me of Hayden Christensen for some reason. That guy. He was the nephew of Achilles in Troy. I can never remember his name. Anyways, okay, so that's happening.
Yeah, and then of course this movie. I don't know why this movie never goes away.
Let's full screen that. Let's watch this.
Talk about Snow White and her CGI adventures. Wait until you see this train wreck. This is awful.
I talked about this with Valiant Renegade on his channel, and I thought it was incredibly interesting that they completely dropped the DEI dwarves. Completely dropped them. And then she's got the Javier, I called it the Javier Bardem No Country for Old Men haircut. Do you watch that movie, No Country for Old Men?
Yeah, watch it.
Yeah. You remember Javier Bardem had the exact same haircut as Snow White in this movie?
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Okay.
Oh, well, here we go. Like I said, we'll watch it. You'll see.
So, whistle while you work.
Why?
Pause it though. Hold on. Go back a little bit. I want to look at the dwarves because this is something I said the first time I saw it. I saw it on Valiant's the first time. The dwarves look better in Shrek 1 than they do in this movie. That movie's 20-something years old. The dwarves look better in Shrek than they do in this movie.
Yeah,
it's
I don't.
Wild.
I don't. Again, just going back to the root of what a trailer is supposed to do, right? A trailer is supposed to showcase what you think is the best part of bringing someone interest, right? You want to bring them into the. I watched this trash and I'm like, I don't want to see this thing. I don't even want to finish the trailer. It's like, I don't get it.
So, I mean, the goodwill was basically dissolved from the fan base when you had your main actress come out and be like, yay, that movie that basically made Disney what it is.
Right.
Weird.
Right.
She just craps all over everything that Snow White is. Not something that you want to hear from somebody who's portraying Snow White in the first place. And then the pictures come out from, I think it was the UK. And we saw trailing behind Snow White, 7 dudes from Portland. That's basically what it was.
So bad.
It was 7 dudes from Portland. And the internet loses their mind. They're like, why are there 7 dudes behind a chick who hates Snow White? 7 dudes from Portland behind a chick who hates Snow White. What are we doing here?
And they all look like they hated being in the movie. Not only did it look like they hated Snuff, they're like, we don't want to be here.
This is advancing the patriarchy. I don't want to be a part of this movie. So obviously anybody with a couple brain cells to rub together was like, Disney, is not doing what they need to be doing here. So I will be the guy that will always make the case that what was the one? Beauty and the Beast with Hermione Granger.
Yep.
I like that one. I was like, you know what? I like this one. I could do this. If they were going to do live action remakes, I can be on that bandwagon. That's fine. And then they did Little Mermaid.
Yep.
And then they did Snow White. And everybody's like, ooh, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
What the fuck are you doing?
And then the other thing about it, right? And depending on who you do or don't believe in regards to the budget, right? So the budget for this movie now is ballooned up to like $500 million.
$500 million.
Something ridiculous, right? So it's got to make
$480 million prior to advertisement.
It's got to make like $2 billion for them to make any money. So
that's Endgame level, like Avengers Endgame level money, and there's no shot they get close to that at all. So we wind up now. Disney's like, they're kind of doing the Sonic thing. You remember when everybody was like, bro, Sonic look weird. You need to fix that now. So they introduced, instead of just hiring little people, which is what everybody was saying you should do, instead, they're so desperate to not hire white people. They're like, we'll just CG some dwarves in.
This is the fix. That's the bad part, right? It's like, we'll fix it. Here it is. I'm like, this is not a fix. This is horrible.
Let's go. Let's keep seeing what's going on here.
Thank God it's only got another minute.
Oh, Gal Gadot is so hot.
Magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest one of all?
So you know it's a shame. I feel like Gal Gadot is going to do a really good job in this movie.
Oh, 100%.
I feel like Gal Gadot is going to do a really good job. And the funny part is, she is way hotter than Rachel. And so it's funny, when she asked the mirror, she's like, who's the fairest of them all? And the mirror's like, you. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it's you. For
so,
sure.
I mean, again, if you want to say, does it have any redeemable quality at all? Maybe it's Gal Gadot, but why? Why bother? Right? It's not going to do well. I don't know who it's made for. I'm not even sure I understand what the story is now. Right? And so, because it does look, oh, I guess I should take that back. It does look like they've gone back to the more traditional Snow White story. So I'm like, all right, so what? If I want to watch Snow White, I'll just watch the original Snow White. I mean, if I really, you know what I mean? If I'm really into wanting to see a Snow White adventure, I just don't get it. This one for me is a big.
I mean, the biggest thing, honestly, that's a massive turnoff. And, people, we should be able to separate the art from the artist 100%. Mm-hmm. Like at any given point in time, we should be able to separate the art from the artist. But let's be honest here. Mark Hamill has pissed off a lot of people when it comes to the Star Wars fan base, because it's just ridiculously vocally outspoken about, hey, if you don't like my politics, then you. And it's like, well, then I don't want to watch you. Like, can't we be normal people? And then same thing with Rachel Ziegler. It was like, hey, this timeless story that is so important to so many young women now grown throughout the world. This is, such an important story. It's weird and it's gross and it's disgusting. It's like, well, screw you then. I don't want to watch it.
And putting aside the fact that she just doesn't seem like a nice person, right? She's been in so many different roles lately that you start to just see her, right? Because she's never, you know what I mean? She's not committing. And I know that's what an actor and an actress does, right? They do different things. I get it. But she's been it's almost like Pedro Pascal, right? You start to just see them because they're in so many different things in such close proximity to each other that you're never You know what I mean? You never get them in those roles because they just literally go on to the next.
It's not Snow White. It's Rachel Zegler.
Exactly.
It's not a crazy Colombian drug lord. It's just Pedro Pascal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now he's going to be in Fantastic Four, right?
It's like Jason Statham. Put him in any movie. He's not the character. It's just Jason Statham.
100% agree, right? And so it's not even typecasting, right? It's the worst kind. It's like you just see that person. You
just don't know how to act. You're just the person that you are. And that's what you do on camera. Yeah, 100%. And you know what? To be fair, for people, it can work. I mean, like one of those actors that always treads the line for me is like Liam Neeson. He's the same dude in every movie, but he's a slightly different person in every movie that he does, right? You know what I mean? So he treads the line. And then there are other people who are chameleons that can do all kinds of crazy stuff. One of my favorites is who played Cillian Murphy. That guy can do anything he wants to. Another one is who played Bubble Boy, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh yeah.
That guy can do anything. It's crazy. So
you know, and these people that you're naming now, I think they stay more relevant because they space out. They're a little bit more picky, and people are a little bit more picky about them, right? In a very specific role. And so they'll do a movie, then you won't see them for a minute, then they'll do another movie, and then you're, oh, they're still around, right? They're still acting. And these other folks, again, Pascal, Zegler, there are a few other ones that just seem, I'm like, do we not have any other actors or actresses? Why are they in every fucking thing that's coming out?
Yeah. They've seemed to have picked their 9 or 10 people that have to headline basically everything. And the problem is some of them don't know how to act. They legitimately don't. And so when a role comes up, they go, this person could probably get close to who we want that person to be. And then it doesn't really translate on screen. Tom Hanks is another one where I feel like it's kind of like, kind of like he's the same person every time, but he's able to change it enough. You know what I mean? Just enough.
Well, and also, as Tom Hanks has gotten older, I think he's added roles to his repertoire that make him a little different than the Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From years ago, that seemed to be more prolifically.
Terminal. I mean, Terminal. He's like a foreigner, living in an airport. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good movie. All right.
Okay, so what's next?
So they gave Freaky Friday 2 again, a sequel we certainly don't need, in my opinion.
Who voted for this?
I don't know, but they're calling it Freakier Friday.
There's got to be there's an Olympic Commission board of movies, and somebody went, "Hey, you remember that really shitty movie from back in the day with Lindsay Lohan? We should do that again." Yeah.
I don't know, and of course Jamie Lee Curtis is not. She's been in the news lately for not necessarily. I mean, just saying stupid things.
What? Like
what?
what?
I think. What did she say? Oh, somebody asked her what phase of Marvel are we in, and she's like, bad. Right, she's just out.
That's not controversial. That's completely accurate.
Of course, she had to apologize. Right, everyone always has to apologize now. But I mean,
Dan Bass is in the chat. What's up, brother?
She needs to apologize for Borderlands too. That's talk about a movie even I wouldn't go see.
You know what, dude? That's a really sore spot for me because I loved Borderlands. I loved that game to death. It was so great, and I've actually been thinking about it over the past couple days. And I was watching some of the statements between the director, who, if I'm not mistaken, was the Bear Jew in Inglourious Bastards, right?
And it's who is it? I forgot who it is. They're a pretty famous director, are they not?
I don't think they're a famous director. I don't know. Let's look it up. Borderlands director. What's his name? And actually, Catastrophe. Are you in the chat right now? Catastrophe, are you here? She's down in New
Zealand. Eli Roth. It's an Eli Roth.
Eli Roth. Yeah. Eli Roth. Yeah, he was the Bear Jew in Inglourious Bastards. The conversations that they had really disappointed me because it was like, the games are one thing, but this is a movie. It has to be completely different. And I'm like, this is why fans should make movies, because no, it should be just like the game, because you're trying to appeal to people who play the game.
Well, this is why the Fallout series worked and Borderlands had a 0, right? Literally had a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes for a while because they took something that should have been R-rated, and they, in their infinite wisdom, they said, well, this is for kids. It's a video game. We got to make it PG-13. I'm like, how do you make Borderlands? Even I know you shouldn't make Borderlands PG-13.
Yeah, Borderlands is like, if you can imagine Mad Max, but just Deadpool. That's what Borderlands is. It's Mad Max, but Deadpool. It's insane. It's weird. It's funny, but with massive amounts of gore. That's basically what Borderlands is. And so for Trapper to like come out and not have that kind of like funny, irreverent sense of humor, and for it all to be just like disgusting and funny. One of the biggest things I think they should have done is they should have brought Cage the Elephant, Ain't No Rest for the Wicked. They should have used that for the trailer because that was the intro song for the original Borderlands game. I thought
this is another one where the trailer, I've never seen a more prolific trailer than the one for Borderlands. For months and months, it's been like in every movie I see, there's a trailer for Borderlands, and it was always the same one. And every time I saw it, I had the same reaction. I was like, this trailer does not make me want to see this movie. And it has having the opposite effect, and I did not go and see it.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know. Now, some people have gone to see it that I know, and they said, oh, it was just fun to watch. I'm like, well, I just didn't want to devote the time.
Yeah. Marker Reality for 5 says, name an actual movie star under 30. Movie star as in it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, insert name, movie, and not know the name of the character.
I mean, Timothy Chalamet is a great
man, I love that guy. You know who hates him is King's Advisors.
Yeah, I know.
Timothy Chalamet. I love that guy. I think he does a really good job. I was not sold on him until I saw The King on Netflix, and he did the speech about make it England, and I'm like, this kid can act.
No, he can. I mean, just to go from Dune to Wonka, and you saw him as the character, right? This is a little bit. This is a great example of someone who is younger, who can act, who's taken some roles in proximity, and has really nailed doing so. I wish we had more examples like that.
Yeah, to go from a young King Henry and then to Willy Wonka is a departure,
right?
For sure.
Yeah, totally agree. All right, so David Blaine, who knew? I didn't even know David Blaine was still around, right? I thought he made himself disappear.
The magician, David Blaine.
Yeah, apparently he's got a new series coming to National Geo on 2025 called David Blaine's Do Not Attempt. So if you're a David Blaine,
not watch. What?
If you're a David Blaine fan, then I check it out. Coming in 2025 to National Geographic.
When was, like, in your mind, the last time that David Blaine was actually like in the forefront of media? 2016.
Yeah, because it was when he tried. Didn't he make the Statue of Liberty disappear at one point? I mean, he did something like really, really out there, and that to me, that was the last time I really thought of him. So yeah, I didn't know he was still around, but apparently he is.
Well, good on you, David Blaine. Good on you for staying in the limelight. We're real proud of you.
And then now we start with the Marvel stuff, right? So I think the next.
Oh, can we watch the Agatha trailer, please?
We sure can.
Oh, I can't wait to watch this one. I'm gonna rip this mofo apart, dude.
You know, it's a tough one for me. I really like Catherine Hahn. But WandaVision wasn't my favorite, but she was okay in it. You know, this is another one of those cases to me where it's like, can she carry her own series? And then some of the other choices they're making, well, you'll see.
So for me, this is one of those things, like, you can make a fatal mistake as an actress. Her character in Step Brothers will be her forever. I don't know if you remember, it was that dude's wife, and she constantly wanted to hump Will Ferrell for the entirety of the movie. That's all I see her as now.
Well, we'll watch it, and you can see what it's. Just the whole thing is just strange to me.
Andrew Ernest is Catherine Hahn is not
messing up everything.
The Covenless Witch.
It's been Agatha all along.
No. What really happened to you?
Seekest thou the road to all that's foul and fair?
She took every little bit of power I had.
Gather sisters far.
I'm assembling a coven. We gotta get back on top.
Black woman.
I'm gonna walk the road.
And the dyed-haired Asian.
Join me.
Darkest hour, wake thy power, earthly and divine.
The Witch's Road will give you the thing you want most. If you make it to the end. The road is a death wish.
Heard you guys were having a party.
What's up?
Hey. Shall we?
Oh, this is She-Hulk 2.0.
It's bad, bro.
It will test us.
And it looks bad.
And our knowledge of
Look
the
at
craft.
the witch.
Look at these.
I'm hoping that that's supposed to be a mock, right? Look at this. I mean, again,
That is from The Wizard of Oz.
I know what it's supposed to be, but just look at the green paint. It just looks bad.
Oh boy.
Oh God, here we go.
And our knowledge of the craft.
We don't even know what we're up against.
Our worst nightmares.
How do we pass this trial without any power?
We survive. Like witches have been doing for centuries.
What happens next?
I just need these witches to get me to the end.
The bodies are really piling up.
Why do you let them believe those things about you? Because the truth is too awful.
I want my prize!
Time to finish the road.
Last one there is a nice person.
Follow me, my friend, to glory.
It's so awfully bad.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you where that works. If that was Hocus Pocus 2,
yes,
that would have worked.
It's that's what I get from it. It's like they're just trying to be something else. I'm like,
We're in Halloween Town.
If you have to try and be something else, then you shouldn't be at all, right? If you don't have your own thing, right? It's like they really struggled to figure out how do we stitch a show together around Agatha. So I'm like, well, just don't do it. Wasn't a good idea.
I would say that, the Red Witch, right? It would have been a hard sell for people who don't understand what she is, right? I mean, if you don't understand like how OP she is, it's a tough sell. But then you put a side story of somebody who you're not going to sell this to people. You're not going to sell Agatha to normies at all. And I'll tell you right now, I'm somebody who is kind of like sidelined to the MC universe. I've gotten more interested in it because I've watched these shows and I'm trying to get, gain an understanding of what was going on, during these comics. And this is like such a departure. I mean, I'm not even talking about an exit off of I-5. I'm talking about like there was a break in the concrete meridian and somebody drove a car off the side of it and landed in the ghetto. I don't know what the hell is going on in the show. I don't know why I should care about Agatha.
And I have to tell you, bro, I'm all witched out. Can we just not have witches for a minute?
Witches.
Come on, man. I've never seen so many shows without witches. What is going on?
It's in Star Wars, it's in Marvel, it's everywhere is witches, witches. And all I can think about is Dave Filoni's wife when I see it.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I mean, where, tell me, please, in the last 20 years of media consumption, somebody said, yo, witches are in right now.
Right?
Witches are, everyone's buying witch stuff. Cauldrons are selling out like crazy. I mean, maybe Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's kind of self-contained. You know what I mean? Those weren't like witches.
Well, if the whole premise of your series is wizarding, it stands to reason you're gonna you know what I mean? To me, okay, I get it, right? But this whole other circumstantial witches in every other, like, really? Do we need
Well,
this?
there's this thing out right now that's popular with young girls, the Wiccan thing. Have you heard about that? The
Wiccan is back.
Thing. They're like, yeah, I'm a witch. I'm like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
I'm a witch. So maybe that might have like sparked some of this, but as a business person, to think that you could thrive off of 0.02% of a small sect of people and be like, this is gonna be a banger. I don't understand it. I don't know.
Well, and I know I know the experiment, right? The experiment reference, whether it was Marvel or whether it was Star Wars on television, was, can we roll out TV with some of these side characters that sort of keeps things going while we're getting to the next movie? And again, I know they're trying to course correct and do some other things, but in this particular case, I think this story isn't even the first story they were trying to tell with Agatha. I think, again, this is another example of them having tweaked it a little bit, and still it looks horrible.
Yeah. So to your point, is it gonna get us until the next movie? That's fine. Wouldn't you want to create content that would make people excited for the next movie?
One would think.
One would think. Drunk says it's going to be a simple Halloween show like Charmed. And look, that's totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to make stuff like that, that's totally fine. But attaching it to something like the Avengers is wild to me. For that to be attached to something like Wanda, like, dude, the Red Witch, like,
listen, I was not I wasn't a huge WandaVision fan. I didn't like the ending at all. I'm much more excited for the White Vision show, primarily because Terry Matalas is writing it. Then I think, to me, that might be the most interesting thing that ends up coming out of WandaVision. Now, again, I have heard tell from some folks who have seen parts of Agatha all along that they said it's actually not bad, right? But again, from this trailer's perspective, it doesn't make me want to watch it.
All I see from this trailer is more like snarky, entitled.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the word is. Just like the Hollywood idea of the snarky woman. That's what I see from this, and I don't want to sound like I'm misogynistic or anything like that, but that's all I see is like the overly like kind of bitchy, snarky, just I hate seeing it.
Well, and the problem is it appears to be magnified by 5 or 6 times, right? Because it's not just one of them. They're like in competition to be the snarkiest, all walking this road. And I'm like, and some of those actresses I know, they're pretty decent or have been in some decent roles in the past. I'm like, I don't know that this is the way they want to distinguish their careers. Smug
That's
is it.
the word I'm looking for. Smug. It's just smug. Like, I know better than everyone. That's just how it comes across. Maybe that's a dude thing. I don't know. That's just
and then the man. I guess he's a man, right? I'm not trying to be rude. You don't know these days, right? But the male figure that seems to be with them is also problematic to me, just from the way they're being portrayed. And so I'm like, it just doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah, there seems to be less and less of the idea of the, because now we're making these female-centric stories. The idea of the hero's journey is like completely redacted, and it's like, I had everything I need, and all I need to do is beat your dumbass so that I can prove to you that I had what I needed. Yeah. And it's like, that's not interesting. Nothing about that is interesting.
I'm with you right now. One of the ones that I do think has a chance, because they did significantly retool the story, is Daredevil Born Again. This is a March 2025. I don't know if they showed a new trailer or what they actually did at the event, but I think they've put the finishing touches now on the series. Actually, I think they did do a little teaser of some kind. But people are very precious about the character of Daredevil and how Daredevil was portrayed previously in other series. And so for me, that's always in the danger zone, right? For people who are very particular about how they've seen him treated before and whether or not this will
Ben
be a true.
Affleck the first Daredevil in live action? Was it Ben Affleck?
I thought it. Well, he was in the movie, right? I don't remember where the movie came in.
It was the Daredevil movie. Yeah, he was.
Right,
He was the first
but I
live
think,
action.
but Charlie Cox is well known from the series.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Anyway, I like Vincent D'Onofrio, however you say his last name, Kingpin. I thought he was a better part of the Echo series, which was another loser, right? From overall perspective. So
Echo was another weird.
I know.
Chance to take. I don't know why they thought that was going to land.
Yeah, I don't either, but it was a tough watch. It's a very tough watch for me.
Yeah.
And the way that one ended also, that became witches. It became about witches, right? I mean, again, why?
And there you go, Grey Pilgrim. If they mess up Daredevil, I'm done. The leak trailer looked intriguing, but I still don't have hope with them. I didn't know that Daredevil was as precious to people as it is.
Oh yes.
Yeah, Daredevil's clearly a fan favorite. I got to be right back. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay. There he goes. Very small. Some things never change. Daredevil. Who's excited about Daredevil? Is anybody out there? I see Valiant's excited. Let me get here where I can see the chat. I never watched the Daredevil series, so I have no preconceived notion about Daredevil one way or the other. But I sure hope this series is good for folks that do care. There are a lot of people who care a lot about Daredevil. I'm good, Andrew. Hope you are as well. Thanks for asking. Just another Sunday night. Joseph's excited about Daredevil. I know. St. Michael wants me to go watch the Daredevil series. There's no reason why I can't. Just never got into it. I don't know why. Passed me by a lot of those. I guess I didn't have Netflix at the time. Maybe. I don't know. Mattuine. A lot of people have told me I missed out on Daredevil. All right, Donna's with me. Never watched it either. Wendy's never heard of Daredevil. Wow. Yep, Valorious Cult series is one of the best things they've put out. I know people really loved the Daredevil series. Ultra Savvy suggests I watch it before Daredevil Born Again. That's probably good advice. A lot of people very excited and nervous, I think, X-Wing, about Daredevil in the chat. So
it's good to see that there's still at least like one small bastion of hope somewhere that something might be done well.
Well, and I think one thing is for sure, I don't think, it appears to be the case that for right now, Disney is putting all their eggs in the Marvel basket in so much as trying to get that ship turned back right again. Whether it's bringing the Russos back, whether it's this Robert Downey Jr. business, any of the stuff that they're really trying to do to sort of course correct what's happened with this multiverse disaster. Because to me, it's been a bit of a disaster. As much as I've enjoyed the Loki series, the TVA I think was just not the direction they really needed to go.
Oh, it's a really interesting turn, and they've leaned into it too.
Well, they doubled and tripled down, and again, it was probably one of the weaker parts of Daredevil, of Deadpool and Wolverine. Although I think they made it work, right? And they used the void to their benefit to bring back some of those great characters and do the things they wanted to do. But yeah, the experience, what you were talking about at D23 was you actually entering the TVA and revisiting, moments in Marvel history through the TVA business.
Really quick, I want to shout out my friend.
Go.
Every time he shows up on stream, he lets us know exactly what he wants, and I appreciate that. Please keep putting that out into the universe. You know what I mean? Visualize what you want. You're doing it. I'm proud of you, and I will never fault you for that.
He clarified later what he meant, by the way, of course.
Nah, I didn't see that.
But anyway, where we're going, right, is I think they really they want Marvel to be great again, right? And I think Kevin Feige let it get away from him.
Make Marvel great again.
I think Kevin Feige let it get away from him with the Disney Plus business, And again, I think that severely diluted that brand. But now, I mean, they made Marvel announcement after Marvel announcement at D23.
Yeah.
They didn't tell us nothing we didn't already know. From a Star Wars perspective, that just, again, reinforces what they're doing. Although they made one interesting Star Wars announcement that I wasn't expecting, but we'll get there. Make Marvel
make
great
some
again.
hats. MMGA, make Marvel great again. I'm sure you won't piss anybody off with those.
So anyway, the next one I think they talked about was Ironheart. Again, this is another one for me that's a little bit of a head scratcher. Like, you know, from a character perspective, I'm not sure who was really looking for this one. But again, they just what do they say about this? Of course, it's about the Marvel show centering on Riri Williams, who first appeared in the movie, blah blah blah. The show has long been in the works. I don't even know if they said when it was coming out, right? But I think they did confirm it is still coming out at some point. Obviously, this one is due to be a Disney Plus series.
Uninterested.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm actually more interested in Agatha All Along, to tell you the truth, than I think I am.
I praise.
On Ironheart. And Coogler, though, I mean, Coogler has done some interesting things lately. So I mean, maybe.
What other is there something we can reference?
What was the last movie that he did that I liked?
Ryan Coogler.
Yeah, he did something. Of course, he's attached to the Creed. The Black Panther before.
Space Jam, not okay. So he's an activist director for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, so you know what you're going to get. You know what you're going to get with him. Anyway, that one's coming.
But this is where we start to move into some interesting territory. Fantastic Four and Captain America: Brave New World.
So this is another one, right? Fantastic Four to me is a big landmine. I think. Well, we'll start with Captain America. Captain America.
Rissman, really quick. I forgot to tell you. It's Sunday. I have to bring the trash cans in.
Okay.
Let me drag the trash. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me. There we go.
Rissman, my God. I'll come on the show. Oh God, Rissman's here.
I wonder what he was talking about, dragging the trash cans. And I was like, what the fuck? What's going on, Valiant? How are you?
Yeah, just the old trash cans here. Good to be here.
That's funny.
What's up, Rissman?
What's happening? So we're just going to talk about Captain. Are we all excited about Captain America: Brave New World?
About as excited as I am about genital warts. I
don't know.
They're not fun.
That's true. That's true. And this is another one where, again, I'm usually very hype on movies, generally speaking. This is another one where the trailer just hasn't done it for me. As much as I want to see Harrison Ford do anything, I'm like, I don't really need to see him as a Red Hulk.
Of all the things I would have picked Harrison Ford to be at the end of his career, Red Hulk was at the bottom of my list.
Wasn't even on my bingo card. Wasn't on the list at all.
You make a great point, and you're not wrong. And I want to bring up something I said a few weeks ago about this. I have my concerns because there's a pecking order here, right? And when you look at how Disney usually does things, they love to glom on to a subset of actors and then utilize them across the Disney spectrum, right?
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal, great example, right? Yeah. Mando, now he's going to be Reed Richards and all this kind of stuff. They made Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. They had fully expected to bring because Harrison Ford didn't want to look. He was out. I don't want to do no more Star Wars. That's it. He didn't give a crap about Han Solo. Didn't give a crap about Star Wars. But they wanted to use him. They wanted to come back with another Indiana Jones picture because that was KK's heart and soul, right? She loved Indy more than Star Wars.
Did she?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know. Here's the
thing. Seem to love it about as good, though, in the end, but that's all right.
Here's the business side. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny was supposed to reinvigorate Harrison Ford's persona to the new generation. It failed miserably. That was supposed to launch him into being a big thing, right? Indiana Jones is back, and next year, come see him as Red Hulk and Thunderbolts and all. Indiana Jones failed. Now they have an entire movie that they had already committed to Ford for Thunderbolts. They had already committed to Thunderbolts before they knew Indiana Jones was going to be a freaking disaster. So now you've got Cap 4, which features Harrison Ford and Red Hulk. Then you've got Thunderbolts, which he's obviously directly involved in as well. This is not going to go the way Disney thinks.
Can I ask a serious question? Yeah. Why the fuck are we trying to relaunch Harrison Ford's career?
Because
he's done.
He's done.
He's the Joe Biden of Hollywood. He's landing on taxiways in his fucking plane. He's done. Let him go.
Okay, but
let him die the hero. Don't make him the villain.
Do you want me to answer the question?
Sure.
Okay, it's easy. No, I'm not trying to be flippant about it. I didn't mean that as an insult. I'm like, there is an answer to it, X-Wing. The answer is simply this. Whether he felt like this was the case or not, this was the case. He got screwed over with Star Wars and The Force Awakens.
Did he? Because the check landed in his account, and he could be well and happy in Tahiti sitting on a beach right now.
The check landed you're right, but you're talking about why do they need to resurrect him? Why do they want to do this? Because there hasn't been think of all the stuff that Harrison Ford, major stuff that he's been involved in. The Force Awakens, now regarded as a travesty. Indiana Jones, the Indiana Jones 5, a travesty. Is this how you would want to go out? Harrison Ford would have been better served to not even show up in The Force Awakens or anything else and just retired 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But he didn't. And
but
now
that's my point. Why continue to tether yourself to a company where you will be tied with failures over and over and over and over? You try to reboot your career. Indiana Jones, the most solid thing you could ever think of, and they blow it out of the water. And he goes, "Well, the next one I make that's really going to bring me back."
But that's my point. Is by the time Indiana Jones came out and collapsed, he was already on the hook for Marvel.
Yeah,
that was it. He'd already signed the papers.
Okay.
I mean, you got to remember, Indiana Jones, that was put into motion
a long time ago,
like before COVID.
Yes.
That
was a long time ago now.
No, I mean, literally, Kathleen Kennedy has been putting that wheel into motion since 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it just, go look back at the production. I mean, this is the kind of thing like Critical Drinker should do. Like Will should do production hell video on Dial of Destiny, because that's, I took
love that.
10 years to get that shit to fruition. The
internet told me he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Well, there's
which
that.
Is odd because he's been dead on for every single thing I've ever listened to from that guy.
Wait, from who?
Critical.
For Critical Drinker. Yeah, no, he's been
spot on. The fact that people have the gall to even come close to trying to criticize that guy for the absolute perfect reporting he has on every single situation that's ever happened on any of those movies.
One of the sharpest. Well, but you know what? Here's the internet loves to clown on him because of the shtick that he does with his videos, right? He's always drinking Jack Daniels or whiskey or something or bourbon, and he does the, Tatiana, he does the whole thing.
Well, here's the bottom.
He's really stupid.
Intelligent people drink more because we're sick of the world.
Yes.
Well, also he's playing a character, right? I mean, like that's
it.
His thing.
Exactly, Rissman. He's playing a character, and the fact is that Harrison Ford is actually in real life what people think Critical Drinker is. Harrison Ford really is the drunk stoner.
Tatiana is on the speed line. He really does crash his plane on a taxiway.
100%.
And he does wake up in his own vomit after a couple kebabs and a long night with the hookers.
The hookers. It's the hookers that are out there. We get all the hookers in here.
And he was just inducted as a Disney legend right as we were starting the stream, right? They're inducting Harrison Ford got inducted, John Williams got inducted, Frank Oz.
And none of these people had anything to do with Disney. They're inducted into the Disney Legend Packs because Disney paid $8 billion to get them. They didn't do this. In Obama's words, you didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen.
Yep.
That's the kind of funny part is all of these inductees had nothing to do with Disney. Nothing. For Disney to basically absorb John Williams is the funniest part.
X-Wing, 2 words to describe Disney here right now. Do you know what I'm going to say?
Hostile takeover.
Stolen valor.
Yep.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Stolen valor. That should be Disney's new corporate motto. Boom. Right there.
It's true. I mean, they're taking a lot of credit for it, unfortunately. Yeah, there's this weird kind of inbred tie because Kathleen Kennedy was tied to these incredible storytellers. And now that she's the head of Lucasfilm, she's part of Disney. It's like, they were always part of Disney. Like, no, the fuck you weren't. They had rides from their movies in your park. They were not Disney films. Get the hell out of here. Lord Botha for 499 says they're trying to resurrect Ford's career because Aaron Reich, his replacement, was rejected as Han Solo. So that's a kind of a tough conversation. Nobody rejected Alden Ehrenreich more than Kathleen Kennedy with one quick statement. A lot of us said Alden Ehrenreich actually really did a good job. Lando turned us off a little bit with the whole L3 lesbian sex bot whole thing that they were doing.
But they did that to Lando, right? I mean, I don't think that was Donald Glover. That wasn't Glover's idea.
Alden did, to take on the mantle of Han Solo as a young actor and do as well as he did. I think that man deserves all the praise in the world for what he did.
I have never, at least so far as I recall, I have never thrown Alden. How do you say his last name?
I don't. Ehrenreich.
Ehrenreich. Thank you. I have never thrown him under the bus. I thought, honestly, I really did think he did a very good job considering what he was handed. I
could
really
not have done better.
No, he really couldn't have. And that's why when Lucasfilm came out with the CYA story of, well, the reason Solo did so bad was because people just didn't want to see Harrison Ford replaced. Like,
it was Star Wars fatigue.
Nobody said that.
Him.
Nobody said that. It's because they can't admit the fact that they literally got punished for the temerity of what they did with The Last Jedi.
Yep.
That was it. But to this day, and this is what I hate about Disney above all else. They cannot admit failure. And that would give them so much street cred with the audiences out there for Marvel, especially for Star Wars, is just Bob Iger and Kennedy come out and say, we fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something right now. You guys really felt that way. Alden was fine in the role of Han Solo. If Han Solo walks up to an Imperial recruiter,
you hate this so much.
Darth Vader's The Imperial March is playing, and the recruiter goes, "You're by yourself? I guess I'll call you Han Solo." Your credibility as a filmmaker, everything you are as a human, I reject you wholeheartedly.
It was Ron Howard.
Star Wars, you're a retard.
It was Ron Howard.
Here's the thing: is Ron Howard at the end? But remember, he was handed a giant mess he had to clean up. And the thing is, folks out there watching, remember that ultimately, let me give you a good example. Everybody, look at the shit that Gina Carano got for literally just following a script and doing nothing, and she made comments offline. Right? She didn't write the script. She wasn't she wasn't a showrunner. She wasn't in the writer's room. She showed up on set. She delivered lines. Mm-hmm. Nobody faults Gina Carano for what she did on set. That would be stupid as it would for any actor.
No, her co-stars love her.
Right. So is the same for Alden, who played young Han Solo. There was a script that was written that was then radically altered. The whole movie was basically reshot. Yep. He showed up and did his job, and I think Given the circumstances that he was put in, I thought he did, as an actor, a fine job. Did I think it was a great Han Solo? Did I think it was a great movie? No, but that's different than me blaming him for the failure. It's not his fault. He was not a bad actor.
It just pissed me off that Kathleen said that. They were like, oh, yeah. You know, it was a real side-handed comment. By the way, people are going to say, oh, well, she never said Alden's name.
It was heavily. Who else would you be referring to, right?
It was really heavy-handed.
Heavily implied.
So moving on. What do we got next? Because we haven't even gotten to Star Wars yet.
It's not. There's not much to talk about, right?
I'm gonna hang as long as I can. We got the first real day of school tomorrow for my two youngest ones.
Ooh,
so
nice.
So then we had Ryan, of course, Ryan Reynolds. They got to ride the coattails of Deadpool and Wolverine for as long as possible, right? So Ryan Reynolds showed up via phone in, to take his jabs at and thanking folks for the support and
they probably
so on.
really wanted him there, but Ryan Reynolds was like, "You don't have enough money." Ryan Reynolds, those of you out there that don't know, he has what we call FU money.
Yes.
When he sold Mint Mobile to T-Mobile a year and a half ago, that $1.4 billion deal, Ryan Reynolds personally walked home with about $300 million of that deal.
Let's not talk about the other 9 ventures that he's in right now.
Yeah,
the aviation gin, with the soccer team, everything else.
Yeah.
Well, I think the soccer team is actually, I think it's making him money now.
It is. Did he?
It
He bought the one that was in. Was it Wembley or not? No, Wembley Stadium.
Wrexham.
Wrexham. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said Wembley. Wembley's a
Wrexham
stadium,
AFC.
sorry. Yeah. No, the dude. I've said before.
I love Wrexham,
and I'll say it again. Ryan Reynolds is, in my opinion, when it comes to an actor, we're not talking about producers and directors like guys like Jon Favreau, but as an actor, he is the sharpest knife in the drawer in Hollywood by far.
100%. He's not retarded.
Super smart business dude. I mean, and it's funny to watch. It's always the craziest guys. It's guys like him that play characters like Van Wilder that wind up being the savant. I mean, out there, he winds up being like the geniuses out there. It just,
And
if it were left to me, he should take over the MCU. And people are like, how could you possibly manage something like that?
He's not a studio runner. No.
He could never do something like that. Guess what?
He doesn't
He's
want
running
to.
a Premier League soccer team. He's running an entire, alcohol business.
He totally could. He doesn't want to. It's the same reason that they can't get Jon Favreau to run Lucasfilm. They didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Why? You want to go back and run Marvel? No. I'm good,
I would
man.
not want to. If somebody offered me the job of running Star Wars right now, I'll be completely honest, I wouldn't want to take it.
No.
And it's not because of what I could do. It's because of what I couldn't do. Because of all the roadblocks that are in place when you take a studio over.
Here's the thing. Even if you were given autonomy, even if Favreau was given autonomy, even if Ryan Reynolds, well, you would. But guys like Favreau, I don't think Ryan Reynolds would. Because guys like Favreau, Jon Favreau, he wants to wake up tomorrow morning on a Monday morning in California and go, you know what? I want to make another movie called Chef. Like, Favreau wants to make Chef was one of the best movies that was ever made. It's a beautiful father-son story. And it's still like you watch it, you cry during that. As a guy, it's like this is a father-son movie. It's beautiful. And that's the kind of stuff Favreau likes to make. He doesn't want to be restricted. If he's a studio head, he can't make that kind of movie again as Lucasfilm president. He'd have to take Chef and make it Skeleton Crew. He don't want to do that.
You'd have to go to a different studio, but you're under contract, so you
exactly.
Can't.
You're an employee of Disney. You can't do it. Ryan Reynolds, again, same thing. It's like if I take a contract and if I get a W-2 paycheck and I'm executive officer of a major studio subsidiary of a company like Disney, I can't do this other stuff. I can't.
That's right.
So he's like, no. That's the problem. The most talented, capable, brilliant people in Hollywood are too smart to waste their time on shit like this. That's it. Sorry, kids.
No, I'm totally with you. And I think the other thing that as crazy as Ryan Reynolds is, he's very smart in his craziness, right? He doesn't say things that are controversial. He's not pissing people off. He's not making, you know what I mean? He's not he's not speaking out of school on social media except as part of the act.
That's it.
Right. And I think that's why he resonates with a lot of folks. And yeah, I'm with you. He's happy to produce, right? He's happy to make his impact on writing and producing. I don't think he wants to manage.
And look, here's the thing, Rissman. Guys like Ryan Reynolds and Jon Favreau, let's be honest, they probably have political opinions, we all do. And
do you hear about it?
Nope.
No, exactly. That's my point. Ryan Reynolds and Jon Favreau could have both written $1 million checks to Kamala Harris's campaign yesterday.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They're not out there
Ryan
talking
Reynolds
about
might have Biden tattooed on the underside of his dick. I don't care because he doesn't talk about it.
Unlikely.
Very, very unlikely.
Yeah.
Very unlikely.
But you don't hear about it.
No,
You're
that's
an
my point.
entertainer.
Yeah.
Entertain me.
This is why I say that guys like him and guys like Favreau, they have FU money, and they're some of the sharpest tools in the box in Hollywood. And the reason they are as successful as they are is because they understand this. It's not like the average Joe out there. We can express our political opinions and do what we want to do. These are major, multi-$100 million Hollywood gurus. And they're smart enough to know, why would I want to have right now with Deadpool and Wolverine? Throw Hugh Jackman in there. Another brilliant man when it comes to Hollywood. If Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds came out tomorrow and endorsed Trump or Kamala, it doesn't matter. Their $1 billion box office right now, after 3 weeks, would be half that or less.
So, real quick question. Can we bring a fourth? I told you it's Friday, Sunday. I'm bringing the trash back in. We have to add.
No, I'm out. Dude,
one more.
Don't worry.
Here's the funny story. It was, it was funny. I was like, hey, you want to come on and say hi? Do you want to come on and say hi? And he said, no, I'm good. And then he was like, oh, Valiant's on your channel? Send me the link.
You know what? I sent him the link earlier to my show. It didn't show up.
I showed up.
Yeah.
I mean, who's your real friend, Valiant?
He had better things to do, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
I get it.
Thanks for the invite. Holy crap.
All right, now leave.
Wow. All right.
Clearly, there's a vendetta here, Jay. Did you have something you had to say to Valiant? I'm glad I could facilitate.
No. I text you back. I said, I didn't know you were inviting others on. I thought you were just like, hey, come in and say hi. I was like, no, I'm enjoying the show.
Wait, you texted me back or him? Oh, you okay, him.
God.
Sorry.
All right, y'all have a great night. Thanks.
Thanks for the cameo.
No,
really
I
appreciate it.
I still have my phone on Do Not Disturb. That's why I literally wait. Did Jay text me? I'm sorry, Jay. If I missed it, I had my phone on silent. Do Not Disturb on my show. Unless I was like, oh wait, no, he didn't. He's talking about X-Wing. So
all right, what's the next show? What's next?
Star Wars. Now it's the 3 Star Wars things they.
Oh no, Jay, you made it just in time.
So of course, Mandalorian and Grogu. They showed what they showed, right? Which I found a little bit surprising, but okay.
What do we have to show for it?
Snowtroopers inside an AT-AT. Okay.
Do we have a trailer or something we can show?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to see it, we can show it.
Yeah. I don't care if I get hit on this one. This is all for funsies.
Let me get it.
He was talking to Gina.
All right. Let's see.
Look at the chat. Look who it is. A lot of love for Jay in the chat. Love to see it.
And we'll present this one.
All right, here we go.
And remember, there's someone under. This is as good as it gets.
So they haven't really released this yet. And if I'm not mistaken, they did the same thing at Celebration. They put trailers out that I don't think we've ever actually gotten.
Correct.
It's never been released.
That's correct.
So, okay.
Yeah.
This was, if I'm not mistaken, a base that we saw in Mando season 3.
Yeah, this is the base where Zeb was. And that's I think that's relevant to what they showed, right? So
okay. All right, let's go. All right, right, so that was Mando season 1, and
These are just little.
It's just rehashing from the other season.
Not the whole trailer.
You are a clan of two.
Yeah.
You
Not the
are
whole
a
thing.
father.
So that was season 2.
This youngling is my apprentice. I'm a bounty hunter by trade.
Season 2.
Now that he's with me, I'll be more selective in my assignments.
Now this is new footage.
No, that's not.
There.
And that's a new pause. Pause it. Go back.
I'm going back.
Yeah, that was the new ship.
All right, so pause it, go back. We get Zeb from Rebels fully fleshed out. And this was a question I asked Valiant Renegade. If they're just starting filming, how do we have a fully fleshed out Valiant?
He was in Mando
fully
3.
Fleshed out Zeb.
Yeah, this is season 3.
He was in Mando 3. This scene was not from Mando 3.
Yeah, he's not in a Razor Crest in Mando season 3 because the Razor Crest is gone.
Well, this is another
Flashback.
Razor Crest.
So this is Razor Crest 2, and Zeb is there.
I can explain this whole thing.
Go for it.
During the Disney theme park revelation that they did yesterday, they are changing the Smuggler's Run ride to incorporate Mando and Grogu. So in that ride, some of the new footage is how he got his ship back and how the Millennium Falcon is going to help him find someone on some other planet. I don't know how, like, they haven't released the full thing yet, but they're going to remove the old ride and put the new one in, I think, a month before the movie is supposed to be released to kind of hype up the film. So apparently the hint is that whoever has the Falcon at that time is going to be in the movie, which is either, I mean, Han is still alive and so is Chewbacca, I'm assuming. So yeah, so it's like that might have been the biggest giveaway that a lot of people might have missed but didn't miss. So apparently he gets his new ship and someone who's flying the Falcon, and then they turned it into the ride that you can do it yourself at Galaxy's Edge. So it's kind of weird. I don't know, but
that doesn't explain how we got a new Razor Crest.
Well, I think
does explain it because you go and get it for him
with Han or whoever. Okay. Gatekeeper for 10 says, "Hail, drunk 3PO."
I mean, it's not super
watching you, X-Wing, but I had to show some love seeing my guy Jay here. Hail, chat! Shout out, Epic Mike, Gothic, Snarky Jay, and blessings to the princess of the 199. Take care, guys. Good to see you. You are allowed to super chat Jay as much as you want here. Super chat Jay until your thumbs
my
are
friend Gatekeeper.
Totally fine.
I hope you're doing well, man. I hope you're having a great.
Good to see you,
Sunday.
Gatekeeper. I see you all over in a lot of good spots. Good to see you. John says he was in 10 seconds in the last episode. Yeah, so he was there. We know we have a Zeb character that's going to be floating around for sure. The weird thing to me was that we were in a Razor Crest, obviously, after they blew up the Razor Crest, and that he's helping Mando, so he's gotten off of the bar and he's helping him. This is new footage.
Somehow the Razor Crest is returned.
Somehow.
Change just slightly so you can buy it again.
Rissman texted me like 5 seconds after this trailer came out, and he's like, "I guess your Razor Crest isn't useless anymore." I'm like, "Come on now, it's useless."
Now wait a minute. You told me it was on my show. You said you paid $500 for that thing, and now it's useless. So now it's not useless.
Well, guess what? Disney's gonna do a new Razor Crest now for another $500.
Let me tell you why. Because Lego is by far and away the last and most lucrative thing they have left in their arsenal in terms of licensing.
I hate Lego.
Well,
I hate them.
Let me tell you something. I was at Target this weekend. We were getting a whole bunch, school supplies, and I'm sorry, folks. That's why I had to step away for a few minutes because Renegade Jr., he's trying to get stuff ready for, the first real day of school tomorrow. My 17-year-old, she's trying to get ready for that. So we got a lot of stuff going on. My oldest one drove back off to college today. So it's been a busy day. But I went to Target. We spent a lot of time shopping for school supplies and all this kind of stuff. And you had like 2 aisles of just Legos. Yeah. That's what it was. And when you went to like the actual
every
toy
single
aisle,
one is like $150 for a Lego set.
Okay, well, because especially when you buy the branded stuff like Star Wars.
Not if you live next to Legoland. It's a lot cheaper.
No, it's true.
Well, it is, but they still have there's a lot of extra costs. Like if you buy, go look at what it costs.
And you guys don't know the ins and outs on how to get deals, man. Y'all are like throwing out numbers that don't exist. What's wrong with you people? There's a Legoland in Central Florida. You can go visit the Big Top. It's like 50% off anything that you guys are crying about. It's that simple. You can find a guy, I don't know, there's a guy named Jay that lives there that maybe can go out and buy stuff, at half the cost. And
yeah,
ship
so
it
if
out,
you see a dude at a meetup with a
cheaper.
trench coat and he's opening up and there's boxes, don't buy it from him.
Don't buy it from him. No, but I mean, you look at like a 1,000-piece Lego set of like just some random thing like the Taj Mahal or something like that. Yeah. It's $150.
That's a Lego set I can't live without.
Right. Versus the same a 1,000-piece Lego set of Star Wars, instead of $100, it's $200.
That's right.
It's because of the licensing fees. And I mean, they're still the most lucrative thing Disney has, because the toy stuff like they used to have with Hasbro, well, that's going to shit. Because there's nothing left to sell. Classic Star Wars still pushes monies, but
dude,
none of the Disney branded stuff.
People that buy the Star Wars sets in like the Disney Village, if you walk into the Lego store and you go to buy a Millennium, it's like a $1,200 set for the Millennium Falcon.
Well, I had somebody like in Disney Springs when I was down there, actually with Jay, just a few months ago, earlier this year. We went down to, or Downtown Disney, I think is what they call it now. I forget. I've been there.
Disney Springs. You had it right the first time.
Okay.
Downtown Disney is Disneyland.
No, it used to be Downtown Disney. Like
it used to be
years
Downtown Disney in Orlando. They changed it to Disney Springs.
It's Downtown Disney and Disneyland.
So, but I mean, we went into the Lego shop there, and my kids were asking me. Well, my kid that was with me was asking me about the Lego stuff. It's like, why are the Star Wars things more expensive? Why are this? And I explained to her, it's like, it's because of the licensing rights. And actually, one of the people that worked in the shop, she was right behind me. I didn't know. I turned around and she put her hand on my shoulder. She's like, you have no idea how many people don't understand that when they come here and they ask questions like, why is this so expensive? It's like, you're one of the first people I've heard since I've worked here that understands this. I'm like, I do this shit on YouTube. But no, that's what it is.
He was on Fox News, everyone.
Yeah.
Can you share my screen just real quick, just because I just want people to know that I wasn't making that up. Here it is, to celebrate the release of Mando. So this is going to come out before the movie, and it's supposed to, and the only way this is going to help get people back into the theme parks is because it's going to give away some parts of the film. It's what I've been hearing out there on the rumor mill. I don't know how truthfully it is. Who knows? But yeah, so I think it's weird that the Falcon will be helping Mando and Grogu find the Razor Crest and do something like it's just I don't know.
Wait, I have a question. Seriously,
we do.
Wait, X-Wing, were you still there when this came up on my show earlier? Because there was some talk about this. Was there like Dave Filoni? No, this might have been after you left. Pro or Alan Ing, we were talking about this. He said that there was some question at D23. Favreau and Filoni were on stage, and they were asking about, there was something about Smuggler's Run and Mando being involved.
It was in the Epic Games. It's run by, they're using the Unreal Engine, right? So Filoni came back out in the Epic Games and talked about Fortnite, right? The Star Wars skins in Fortnite, and then they threw in with tomorrow. He said, "Well, we want to talk about the other thing," and this was the other thing.
So this is legit. So they really are perhaps reskinning.
Oh, they are
Smuggler's Run.
Yeah,
they could do it a million times. I mean, it's like Star Tours. You don't have to change the ride building.
It's a terrible ride. It's a terrible ride.
Sadly, Star Tours will be gone.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa. Really?
It appears that the new Monsters Inc. land that they're built. Yeah, we did all this morning.
The door ride is going to take over Star.
That's the only part of Star Wars in Disney World that actually is Star Wars.
It's supposed. What Jay is saying is they have limited real estate to build this Monsters Inc. coaster, and depending on how they do that, Star Tours might be on the chop.
I mean, most people I've talked to have been like, "Yeah, I enjoyed that."
Wait, in Cali or Orlando?
Orlando.
Really? I mean, they're not terribly landlocked in Orlando.
You know what? They should knock down the AT-AT and just get rid of it all.
Bro, listen, the not to turn this into a theme park thing. What they like, the Magic Kingdom stuff was insane. Like tearing down Tom Sawyer's Island, that whole river.
Rissman, you have articles for this, right?
There was discussion about that.
It's all speculation. It's all speculation.
Tuck it.
So, but it's like Magic Kingdom will look completely. It will not be the same. If this is true, it will not be the same Magic Kingdom that anyone remembers just 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like not even close. It's all going to be torn down. And, they're going to build rides that won't stay open, such as Tiana's Bayou, and which is really sad. And it's just going to be like this whole back section where they're going to make the Villains Land and 2 car rides from the movie Cars, not 1, but 2 rides. And the whole Animal Kingdom is going to get all this one side of Animal Kingdom where Dino Land is all going to get gone. How to Be a Bug is going to be like all Animal Kingdom is going to get replaced too.
Was that
it's crazy?
The show that I went to with you, How to Be a Bug?
Yeah.
Oh man, I really like
it. But they're making it into a Zootopia.
Zootopia, correct. And then Indiana Jones they're just replacing Dinosaur with Indiana Jones, but it's supposed to be a newer adventure, but it's the same thing at Disneyland, but a different adventure. And then the whole it's crazy, man. Like I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think Epic Universe here in Orlando shook them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And
it should have.
After the last census report for theme park attendance, that Universal gained more. They didn't beat out Magic Kingdom, but they beat out the other parks, which was the first time in their history. They were like, oof, if Epic Universe opens with all this excitement, like we could be in some serious trouble. So I think a lot of these things they announced might have just been like last minute, like last month suggestions. Like we really got to change everything if we're going to like compete at this point. Because Epic Universe, listen, being able to drive to that property over there and seeing Epic Universe, it is massive, man.
Yeah.
It is massive. Like it's like they're saying like people couldn't even go through the entire park in a single day. It's that big. So
Jay, do you have like a clay mask on right now? Is that why your camera's off?
No. I'm just sitting here without my clothes on.
Oh,
actually, can I hold you by the waterfall?
That was gay.
It was. Wasn't me. That was you.
Someone clipped it out to always be reminded if he's having a bad day that he'll be held in a waterfall.
That's all I want. Moving on. Moving on. All right. What's the what do we have next?
You want to finish this?
Yeah, we can finish it.
All right.
Why?
Oh, yeah, so pause that.
We
go
love that
back to that spot.
That red TLJ.
So, oh man, what's going on here? Just pause it in that hallway. I can promise you, I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on.
Give it a second.
Rissman, what do you think this movie is actually going to be about? Like,
dude, I'm going to tell you what's happening right now. Okay,
where is it? Fuck me. There it is. Finally.
Bam. Okay.
Yeah.
We going to Hoth.
No, you're wrong.
He thinks it's Ilum. He thinks it's Ilum for Star Killer Base.
This is Ilum. This is Ilum. This is the beginnings of the First Order starting to take their dig sites in Ilum.
Yep.
and create Star Killer Base.
Yep.
That's what's happening. As much as I would love to say that this is Hoth and wow, it's cool. Oh, the Empire took Hoth over after the Rebels left. Why the fudge would they put an installation on Hoth after the Rebels left? There's no significance at all. The reasons why the Rebels picked Hoth is because there's nothing there. There's no reason they would look for them there. There's no reason why the Empire would build a base there. The only reason why we would have a full-fledged Imperial base on a snow planet is Ilum. This is the beginning of the dig site. This is exactly where we finally see Cal Kestis show up in this movie as they're building Star Killer Base.
Mm-hmm.
We finally see Cal Kestis show up in this movie during this period. That's what's happening. This is a massive tie-in to the sequel trilogy.
They've been trying for years to try to tie up this sequel trilogy and make it relevant. Books, comic books, TV shows. They still haven't been able to do it. Now maybe this
is their big push to try to tie the original trilogy into the sequel trilogy is by having your beloved snowtroopers on Ilum. Oh my God, guess what? AT-ATs. Guess what? It's part of Star Wars. Like,
let me explain everything that's wrong with that thinking on the part of Disney. Not what you're saying, X-Wing, but what you're saying that Disney is thinking. What's wrong with it is that the whole, oh, here's your snowtroopers. Well, guess what? Everybody that loved the OG, everybody that loved Hoth and Empire and all this, they've checked out. Everybody that loves you new Reylo bullshit, they're not going to get this. By and large, the normies of those two spectrums are not going to get this, and nobody's going to care. And if there's anybody out there on the OG side of things that are still hanging on with some desperate hope, I got news for you, kids. This is going to seal and kill it for you if it hasn't already. It just don't expect much out of this. Again, we talked about this earlier, like when X-Wing was on my show. This whole issue of, but how much control does Favreau really have? What can Favreau really do? Favreau can only try to make the best story that he can insofar as the authority that he's given, right? Because if he's told you have to play in this narrow of a sandbox, then all he can do is try to create the best story he can inside those little walls. And that's probably what he's trying to do here, provided that he doesn't have to answer to people like Carrie Beck and so on and so forth in the Lucasfilm Story Group and other people, all the intersectional feminist women up there that run Lucasfilm that have driven it into the floor. We're going to get what we're going to get, kids, and don't hold your breath.
And I don't disagree with anything Valiant just said. And X-Wing, I think for me, the only thing that may still have me on the iffy if it's really Ilum is I don't think the New Republic knew nothing about no Star Killer Base or Ilum or any of this stuff, right? When in the time of the sequels. So if we're saying that all of a sudden now in some New Republic sanctioned go get this warlord or do something Mando that somehow he stumbles onto an early dig site on Ilum, something about that doesn't check out for me just on the surface.
I mean, for me this is stupidly simple, right? As somebody who like loves lore, this should be an extremely easy out for them to do something retarded is what's going on here. So the Empire is obviously could be on Ilum as soon as they can be. Why? Because what does the Death Star run on?
Kyber.
Right? So I mean, it makes sense. It ties into Andor, right? Because they were there on Jeddah. They were looking for Kyber crystals. What's the richest source of Kyber crystals in the entire universe? Of course, it's Ilum, right? We saw this not only in the expanded universe and books where everybody who's a Jedi, they go and get their crystals from Ilum, but this would be the time that you would see, and we saw this in Jedi Survivor, where there were early mining operations occurring at the time of the Empire. This is now canon. I don't know if Survivor's canon. I don't know how the games play into canon, But I mean, this is their great way to tie in the sequel trilogy to the original trilogy. It is their way to really, this is the kind of effed up, weird oatmeal glue kind of way to try to suck these things in together. And then also possibly bring in Cal Kestis. They could do that because he was operating here in the time, and of course, it's easy if you're a Mandalorian. You're like, who's that guy? And there's a guy with an orange saber, and he's like, oh, it's Cal Kestis. They can do stupid key jangling and make this happen here while trying to appeal to the original trilogy fans with, hey, look, Stormtrooper with the bib. It's a snowtrooper. You like those? And then I don't know if you watched the live reaction when the AT-ATs come out. Everybody's like, ah! Like, yeah, it's an AT-AT. We know, like, yes.
AT-AT.
Yeah, AT-AT. And they're inside it here. I mean, it's cool, right? That's why I say these little. Why they filmed this early, though. It is interesting what they had ready to show and what they didn't after just starting filming for several weeks now. I found this bit with the AT-ATs and him on the ATRT and some of the rest of it. I just found it interesting.
Why is there an ATRT? Why is there an ATRT?
Well, so there is another school of thought that says this might be what the hell was the name of that place? Brendock 4. There's an outside chance this is the snow planet where Crosshair was stationed in Bad Batch.
With the monster pterodactyls and stuff.
Yeah. And if so, that would make more sense as to why there might have been an ATRT laying around, right, from the Clone Wars and all that. Barton 4. So I don't know that that's true. But yeah, I thought it's just an interesting choice to me, period. That this would be why they would have this ready. I don't know.
Can I tell you something honest? If that's what they did, this is my reaction.
Stupid. Well, my question is, so even if that's in the film, what the heck is this movie about anyway?
Yeah, so Jay, I mean, the only thing I keep going back to is how they left Mando's role at the end of the disaster that was Mando 3, which is, we're going to need your help. We want you to track down Imperial warlords. We want you to come on contract for us periodically, and that's where he said, well, I'll be much more discerning now that I'm looking after Grogu and so on and whatever. So the only thing I could put together here is, they've got him on contract to track down a warlord, and along the way, he finds himself on this planet, whichever planet it is, and that's why he's shooting up people in the room and all this kind of stuff. He's out looking for a bounty. What bounty it is and why that's overly relevant, I haven't the faintest idea, but I think that's what the story is going to be.
Should be fun.
Well, there's a part of me that says if they bring it back to the original recipe of Mando and Grogu out doing missions, whether it's in a Razor Crest or not, I mean, that is what worked in the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian, right? So if they want to get back to basics here on that, I think that makes sense to me. In the announcement before they played this trailer, it was Favreau or Filoni, one of them said something like, we want to put a movie out there. We're putting a movie out there that cares for the people who have been following this franchise since the beginning and understand, the backstory between Mando and Grogu and all this stuff. But at the same time, they want it to be an entrance point for people who haven't been necessarily with it from the very beginning. So in some ways, I also think that's good, right? Because they can leave some of the baggage behind that they really veered off on in Book of Boba Fett and also Mando 3, and they could tell a self-contained story here that works on its own merit, without a lot of homework, and some of the other stuff. And then I think we'll never have Mando and Grogu again in their own series on Disney Plus. I think, assuming the movie doesn't bomb, they'll just continue them theatrically.
I think it's weird that I could be wrong, but I feel like the Mando series was just basically gonna end at season 2.
I didn't think it was.
I didn't think it was like, I don't think Favreau was like expecting anything other than 2 seasons, a Western, you know, we get the baby back to the Jedi. Luke's the big reveal. That was cool. And now we're done. Now we can make our little
they had, Jay?
Ahsoka show.
They had an ace in the pocket with that. So what they did is they loaded a shotgun with the end of season 2. They loaded a shotgun. They had Grogu with Luke Skywalker. What they should have done, in my opinion, is left that alone for 3 years, 4 years. And then all of a sudden, in a movie you were watching, Luke shows back up with Grogu. And it's like, oh my God, he's been gone with him for how many years? He's been doing all this kind of crazy stuff. He shows back up with everyone. And it's like, I mean, it would have been an amazing moment in cinematic history for Master Luke to show back up with baby Grogu. He's been training for how many years? And they just, you know, decimate, you know, a large group of enemies or whatever the case may be. That would have lived in the annals of history of Star Wars as one of the most incredible moments we've ever seen.
But the problem was, right, they misjudged the explosion that was going to be the Baby Yoda phenomenon.
Yeah.
Right. And then they got greedy. Right. They're like we have to shoehorn Grogu back into the story very quickly to keep our merchandise and all of these other things we're investing in. We want that money. Right. So that's why we had the disastrous turn of events in Book of Boba Fett, right? With the you must choose and the Luke adjacent. I call it the Luke adjacent dialogue, right?
Decision. I mean, you know, like in any relationship, distance creates want.
I know, but like I say, they
greed is the key. I agree with Rissman 100%. They had nothing that was making them money. Star Cruiser was a massive failure. And we're talking about all of Lucasfilm. Willow series, massive failure. Indiana Jones, massive failure. Just, you know, on and on. Baby Yoda was like one of the biggest selling toys of like for Star Wars of all time. You know, everybody had that thing. So, and they're still selling it. It's all over the parks. They put that freaking Baby Yoda on everything. Dog collars, dog bowls now. It's got its own piece set. Everywhere. It's everything.
Well, and it was very telling to me. You know, we have talked about for those people who've been following since the beginning, the people who were children enjoying Baby Yoda in 2019 are going to have pretty much aged out of that, right? By 2026. But they addressed this in a very sly way when they were making this presentation. They said, not only do we want new entrants into the franchise as a result of this movie, but we want to appeal to new children, right? We want to appeal to the new young people to come into the theater and maybe experience Baby Yoda for the first time in the context of the story. And so it's very overt, right, on why they're calling it Mandalorian and Grogu and how they're trying to do this. Again, they're continuing to beat the Grogu into the ground, right, from a value perspective. And for those of us who have been following it from the beginning, I find that to be the least exciting part of this movie. I'm so over fucking Grogu.
Yes.
Right? If I never saw another Grogu again, it would be fine. Right. So, but again, this is what's on their mind. Now enter in the Falcon and some of this other stuff. I start to wonder the rumors about Luke being featured in a movie and some other things that have been swirling around for a while. This would be the time to do it, right? The time to bring the Falcon in, to have Luke and Han and Leia in some way to try and do all these things that they failed at doing in the sequels. To try again here wouldn't surprise me a bit.
Baby Yoda.
They sorry about that, VR.
No, go ahead.
Lucasfilm is famous for nostalgia, so it'd be kind of wild to see, like, you know, Mando needing help and then they use Chewbacca.
Yeah.
You know, he shows up in the Falcon, kills a bunch of TIE fighters, gives his little growl, and it's like then they could market that crap, you know, like with the ride at Disney. Then you know, they could put him in all the teaser trailers, like, hey man, Chewbacca's gonna be here, man. You gotta come see Chewbacca. They already got Chewbacca out there signing autographs, taking photos. Yeah,
it's gone, Jay.
You're right, but here's
that
the
goodwill.
kicker.
It's gone.
That's just it, X-Wing. The kicker is that they try to rely on the key jangles. But they do it begrudgingly. They do it in the sense that, okay, we're at our wits' end. We have no alternative now but to try to commercially, financially salvage the mess we've made. So we're going to jangle some keys in the hopes that this buys a little bit of goodwill. But the problem is they never deliver. They never follow up on it. They can't.
I mean, they do to a point. They're like, here's your Millennium Falcon. Different radar dish. Ray is here, and yeah, sure, Chewbacca is right behind him.
But what are they going to do with Yoda and Plagueis now? They're not going to follow up on Acolyte. That thing had horrible ratings.
Oh, yeah.
Well, not from a standpoint that's going to satisfy the fans. And when it comes to the issue of, like, you just had a chat up a moment ago that pointed the way. No pun intended. The whole Baby Yoda thing, the Grogu thing, has come and gone. It was a huge moment in the modern Disney Star Wars era of the cultural zeitgeist, but it faded as fast as it came in. And even the Walt Disney Company itself has at least tacitly alluded to this in their financial reports. We cover the earnings calls live on my channel. We just had one this past week with Disney. Every 3 months they come up. And we've watched the tone change and shift over the years. I mean, a couple of years ago, they would talk about how Star Wars sales were down in total, but surprisingly, as Disney refers to it as classic Star Wars sales were strong. They were overcompensating for the loss in Disney. And what classic Star Wars on Disney's financial balance sheets mean is pre-Disney Star Wars, like the licensing rights. Yeah, exactly. The licensing rights we have with Hasbro and Lego, for example, the two biggest things they have. Like, we can still sell Kenner toys and Lego toys that have to deal with the X-Wing, the Red 5, and the Millennium Falcon, and the Death Star, and the helmets of Vader, and the helmets of classic stormtroopers. Basically, all the stuff that was generated and created before Disney bought it, that's been good. But even in the last 12 months, we've seen quarterly reports where they've said even classic Star Wars, essentially, is falling back. And that's because they're not putting out anything new to cajole audiences back in to keep invigorating the sales of the classic Star Wars stuff. The whole issue here, like Mando and Grogu were hot sellers a year and a half to 2 years ago. And now they're not anymore. Yep. This movie is like literally, at least at this point, going to come out at least 2 years too late.
Agree. Yeah.
Big time. And it's not going to do what they hope it will. It's not like all of a sudden there's going to be this reinvigoration, at least not to the standpoint of they had at the end of Mando Season 2 with merchandise sales of Grogu in Mando. I think that to some extent right now, guys and partners like Hasbro and Lego are somewhat enamored with this. Like, okay, this will give us a bit of a jolt, but I don't think that they're expecting anything to match what they had 2 years ago. Remember how late the merchandise unveiling was of Mando and Grogu? Like, they didn't have shit.
It was hilarious.
They didn't have shit till Season 2. And what did Disney do? What was their excuse? Their excuse was, oh, we didn't want to put it out because it would have spoiled the surprise.
Yeah.
You know what? Pardon my French, but fuck you. We aren't that retarded. No. This has been... Look at Fortnite right now. Like, they had a special D23 event today for Fortnite. I've been listening about it for 24 hours because of Renegade Jr., who's a Fortnite freak. I play Fortnite with him all the time. Like, I sent X-Wing my Fortnite profile. I'm like, let's play sometime, right? It's a fun game. People love Fortnite because it's
I'm 33 years old. I'll still play that game.
I'm 45 next month. I play that game.
Yeah.
But I play it because that is my quality time. That's one of my 2 pieces of quality time with Renegade Jr. We go out on the fishing boat and we play Fortnite together. That's what we love to do as father and son. But the issue is like today they had the whole thing with D23. They had the unveiling of Dr. Doom and all this. That shit was set. Think about this. We just got the Robert Downey Jr. unveiling, like, what, a week or 2 ago at San Diego Comic-Con?
Conversation in and of itself.
And this unveiling, this Fortnite event today that happened at 10:30 Central this morning, 11:30 Eastern, whatever it was, that was months in the planning.
Months ago.
My point is the merchandise. When you are creating a big new thing, okay, and you're planning this out, think of the gestational period of movies and television shows at this scale. You're talking 2 to 3 years of gestation. When they start this, once they greenlight a project, they start talking to marketing partners. They start talking to Hasbro. They start talking to Lego, because the gestational period for these companies to produce the toys that we see on the shelves, they are also 2 to 3 years on backlog.
Valiant,
this is
I have to stop you. I have
Go
to
ahead.
stop you right now, because here's the problem. In order for toys to sell, people have to like the product.
That's
first.
the problem. Yes.
Okay. So we're talking about 3 years of gestational, marketing going on and trying to make these toys and stuff like that. The thing that's going on is that Star Wars is making these projects. There's been a 3-year gestational period about creating a product. And then when it hits the shelves, nobody gives a shit.
No one.
Okay. And
You
you're
don't care
right.
about the original product.
You're right. In X-Wing, here's the deal. This is the bottom line, is that what people need to understand out there watching, it's like, why do they do this? Why do they do that? Why do they make this toy? Why do they make that toy? Because if you're Disney and everything you're doing is failing and you're dealing with 2 to 3 years of gestational period, by the time that the Acolyte is a shit show, you're already 2 years past the point where you've put this in the queue for marketing.
They call it the pipeline.
Yeah,
in the toy game.
Yeah,
the pipeline,
the queue, whatever. You're already 2 years removed from where you pushed the button, right? And this is why now it's a lagging indicator from an economic standpoint. It's a lagging indicator when we see people like Hasbro and whatnot out there, the other marketing partners that have backed off, especially once we got 2 years deep into things like Marvel Phases 4 and 5 is a great example, right? By the time those movies came out and we realized that we can't sell a fucking Captain Marvel doll or a Ms. Marvel doll, it was too late. This is why Hasbro has backed off. Look at the financial returns. Look at Hasbro's financial reports for the last 12 to 24 months. What have they constantly talked about? Third-party licensing contracts at Hasbro are shit shows. They've fallen off a cliff. Guess who Hasbro's biggest third-party licensing partner is? Disney. Gee, I wonder what happened. Oh, fuck, I don't know. Maybe it's because they're making crappy TV shows and crappy movies that aren't engaging audiences. And this is why we keep making jokes about all of these Star Wars toys and these Marvel toys from Marvel TV shows and all this kind of stuff, like Echo and Girl Hawkeye and Moon Knight and all this shit winding up on the shelves at Ollie's 6 months later. This is the production window.
Moon Knight gets way too much hate.
I couldn't stand that. That show was awful.
Okay, here's the thing. X-Wing, forget the hate. Moon Knight is no different than Andor when it comes to Star Wars.
I'm never going to buy a Moon Knight toy.
There you go. It's not about how good or bad the show was. It's about the level of audience interest. And when it comes to merchandising sales for partners like Hasbro, for example, they look at this and they call, they have tiers. This is actually how the merchandising system works. If you're a Hasbro or if you're a Mattel, and Mattel has the contract for Disney princesses, right? Mattel's okay, because not only does Mattel have Barbie, their own stuff in-house, but they have the rights to manufacture all the stuff for Disney princess. They're cool. But they look at things like, okay, is this a level 1, a level 2, or a level 3 customer? Meaning that a level 1 customer is the guy that goes out or the girl that goes out and buys a ticket to a movie theater. And they go in there and like, I saw the movie, it's great. Then you get down into the level 2 customer. The level 2 customer leaves the movie theater or turns off the television show and then goes out and makes a purchase based on that show. Like a merchandise purchase. Then you've got the level 3 people. The level 3 people are the fanatics. The level 3 people go out, like they watch the movies, they watch the TV shows, and then they spend, you know, $100, $200, $300 buying a lot of stuff based on that. That's how they grade their customer level. The problem is over the years with Star Wars, and especially in recent years with Marvel Phases 4 and 5, those level 2 and 3 customers have gone from up here to poo. Like that demographic, that level 2 and 3 has just gone to shit. That's the issue. And those customers are the ones that largely drive the amount of licensing revenues that come back to Disney. Like the report that Disney put out in tandem with their earnings call Wednesday this past week that we covered live, they had a tandem report, like an investor report with all kind of fun pictures and graphics. It was almost exactly like the one they put out when they were fighting off Nelson Peltz. And they talked about the ROI on Star Wars and all this, which even Forbes magazine, Caroline Reed came in and shredded Disney for that because the whole return on investment calculation they put in that report was completely fugazi. It was crap. Right? Forbes magazine called you out. One of the biggest financial publications in the world called you out for making a bullshit financial report to your investors. That's Disney. They put out another one this week that tried to show this and that and the other thing. $1 billion annual retail sales for Marvel. $1 billion in annual retail sales for Star Wars. This is what was in the report they put out. They filed with the SEC this week as an investor advertising report, which I made one simple question because the footnotes were so bad. When's the last time? They didn't say when they did $1 billion in sales with Star Wars. They just said $1 billion annual sales. My question was, when was that? Was that 2015? 2016? 2017? Because we knew that happened in, 2015, but yeah. At 2017, we knew sales started falling off. 2017.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on either. I was talking.
I thought I was kicked out of the room for a minute. Like I was like, yeah, no, value 100%.
I mean, that was the deal. But I mean, they keep bringing these things up like things are going great. But if you punch down, like I encourage people, when Disney puts out these statements, look for the footnotes.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, look for the footnotes. Yeah, because the footnotes basically tell you everything you need to know. And more importantly, when it comes to the footnotes, is what's not said. And that's the key. That's what being a financial analyst is all about. Looking at the stuff and going, you need to peel through the bullshit because Disney loves to bullshit and gaslight.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we got a lot of gaslighting going on right now with them.
Oh, they're pros at it.
Yeah.
They're the best.
Yeah.
They're WDW pro level gaslighters.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Yikes.
I love pro. So, we had a trailer up.
Should we finish it? You think we can?
Yeah.
All right,
let's try. Let's try.
Oh, it's like Yoda crawling through the hole.
Oh my God! Wait! Is this Lethal Weapon? I mean, Die Hard. Die Hard.
Go back 5 seconds. I thought that was Alien.
Can we go through
back a little further. That's Alien right there.
Can we go back through the Die Hard scene?
No, it's the same as Revenge of the Sith.
No, that was Die Hard, dude.
No, it's Yoda crawling through the circular tube in Revenge of the Sith.
Another air conditioner,
like,
another air vent, another elevator. How can the same guy go through the same shit twice?
ATR.
You need to pause.
Where's your ad?
You need to pause. Yeah, this has been gigging a lot of people this weekend. X-Wing. I'm just telling you.
This is just a. I mean, I love ATs. I mean, I love to see them. Obviously, it's cool to see an ATRT like running from an AT is wild, but come on, guys. You know what you're doing. We know what you're doing. We see it. Like, stop. We know.
I will say, considering that principal photography for this film just commenced in the last couple of weeks, I know they did some filming about a month or two ago due to actor scheduling, and I think largely due to Pedro Pascal. Let's face it. They filmed a bunch of stuff a month or two ago with Pedro there because he's physically, Pedro's not going to be in most of this movie. It's going to be Brendan Wayne. What's his name? Yeah, Brendan Wayne, who was there, who had a booth right next to Gina's booth in Knoxville.
Marianne's kid.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah. I'm not, Jay, I didn't ask you shit. I didn't want to put you on the spot, brother.
His booth was right next to Gina's, and boy, did they have some conversations.
They had some, yeah, they did. I know what you're talking about. I ain't gonna say nothing. I can't say nothing because stuff and things. No, but my point is this. I'm actually genuinely impressed. Really impressed. And I look, I'll straight off the bat, I'm going to credit guys like Rob Breedow and the boys at ILM for this.
It looks good.
Yeah, because they did all this heavy lifting to get this
exactly.
ready.
The fact that they had virtually no PP, no principal photography in the can.
Yep.
And they managed to strap this together.
Yeah.
In this short period of time, dude, let me tell you what. Of the $4 billion, y'all have heard me say this on my channel before, of the $4 billion that Disney dropped ass on to buy Lucasfilm, ILM and Skywalker Sound, they are still the boss.
I mean, ILM was always the G.
This is, I mean, look, I am, from a technical standpoint, because I love being fair with this. I love to trash on Kathleen Kennedy, Lucasfilm, and all this, but I will never trash on ILM. Yeah. Those boys are the shit. And for them to get this put together in such a short period of time with so little PP that they had in, you know, dude, this is so
tiny PP.
It's a tiny PP, little tiny PP. Yeah, the photography here looks great. And look, a lot of this is, you know, like going back, we talked about it earlier on my show. We said, look at the stuff, look at the compliments that Ryan Reynolds gave to Favreau for one day on the set of Deadpool. And he did that long post on X. He's like, look, Favreau wasn't just here for a day to shoot a scene as Happy Hogan. He taught us. He gave us a master class on filmmaking, and he helped us so much on the set of Deadpool and Wolverine. This is the kind of like Jon Favreau stuff, like looking at this, like he gets behind that finder lens and he's like, this is the shot I want. This is my vision. This is impressive for what nothing they have in the can. And they came up with this. I'm blown away.
I agree.
Full credit. Yeah.
Because I expected them just to come up and say, we've started. We hope you love it. I didn't expect them to show nothing on Mandalorian. Grogu.
So for me, as like a Star Wars guy, I'm like, why is he on an RT? I'm excited to know why he has an RT. Like, why does he have an ATRT while there's AT-AT rolling around? Like, I'm interested. I'm interested to see snowtroopers again. I'm interested again. Why are there AT-ATs where he's running away from, like operating in a canyon for no reason? Like, why? I don't know. There are questions. I'm interested to see it. Again, I just can't overstate like how upset I am how they effed up the Mando stuff.
Yeah.
This could have been our entry into a whole new world of Star Wars, and Book of Boba Fett ruined it.
I agree.
Full blown, it ruined it. But Mando can still be kind of cool. I actually still have my Mando helmet on my wall. I haven't taken it down. It's not in the back of my closet because I still believe there's something he can do that could be cool. If I'm being perfectly like totally honest, I think if Gina Carano just stepped out on stage in episode 3, you know what I mean? Like
if she shows up in an end credit scene, that would be awesome.
God,
but the problem is, let's be real, it legally can't happen right now.
I get it. I'm telling you,
it sucks.
My idea of what I would be excited to see as a Star Wars fan. You know, the Mando movie's going on, blah, blah, blah. Everything's going bad. All of a sudden, this X-Wing or, whatever, an A-Wing, whatever, something comes in, blows a bunch of stuff up that, it sets down and fucking Cara Dune hops out and she goes, "You missed me, didn't you?" I'm like, I would die. I
tell you what, I mean, boys on the panel here, Moff, X-Wing J. I mean, look, this is my opinion. I genuinely want this movie to be good.
Sure.
I don't wish for bad Star Wars products. It's just that I'm a
Star Wars
realist.
fan does.
And that's exactly. I'm just a realist, and that's the shit they've been shoveling in our mouths now for years. I want this to be good. If you don't mind, X-Wing, I'm going to ask the chat. Okay, chat, you're out there watching. You're seeing what you're seeing on screen. Let me ask y'all this. Do you guys I'm not asking you, do you think the movie will be good or bad? I'm asking you, would you like to see this movie? Would you hope this movie is a good movie? If you hope that it's a good movie, just throw a thumbs up in the chat. If you hope that it's good, if you want a good movie out of this from Favreau and Lucasfilm, if you hope it is, throw a thumbs up out there. I just want to see it. Let's see what we got. We got like almost 300 people watching. I see 129 likes. I got to refresh. Hang on. 182.
All right.
Okay.
Real quick. Mattaween for 5 said Razor
Thumbs up
Crest
out
are
there.
like Shelby
Hit the like
GT 500s. There are more than one out there. It's not the Razor Crest. It's a Razor Crest.
And again, more importantly, it's a new Razor Crest you can buy. That's exactly why it's not the Razor Crest. That's exactly why. I mean,
That's
come on,
it.
man.
Another $500 ship. You know why I'm okay with that? People are gonna want the original.
Wait.
okay
Let me ask you, how big was the $500 one? Like how many?
You want to see it?
How many?
It's the HasLab. Like,
Do you want me to
it's
see
their
it?
Monster.
You want to see it? I'll grab
Yeah.
it right now.
We have a Razor Crest.
It's huge.
Okay,
very
you got
good, yeah.
okay.
I
We
got
had
it,
one.
yeah.
Renegade Junior and I built one at Christmas a couple of years ago. I think it was $150.
Oh, this
I
thing
didn't-
is this
I
thing
didn't
is
mean.
a monster.
Okay, I am sorry. I didn't mean to make him leave the scene.
Well, at one point it was behind him, right? It used to be behind him, invisible, but I think those days are long gone for it to be in shot.
Well, he used to be behind him, but he ran out of Astroglide.
No, but it's a monster. Look at this thing.
I can't see it.
He's coming. He's coming.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I told you look at it. It's a monster.
Okay,
that's the HasLab extra special Razor Crest.
All right, I want that one. That's wicked.
What a waste of money.
I know, right? Not only was it a waste of money, but literally he put it together, and the next day they blew the damn thing up. It was the funniest.
That's hilarious.
Thing ever happened. I just put it together, and then they blew it up.
Like, was there no whys? Wait, did I miss? Did it go by that fast? Well, I hope people said yes. I don't know.
There were some thumbs up. There were some thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Yeah. Okay.
So
cool.
it's huge.
Oh, there it is. Thumbs up. Okay. Sorry, my screen froze over there. apologies.
Did we move on?
No.
Okay.
We moved on from you.
It's a huge piece, massive piece. I was really excited to buy it because
that's what she said.
We essentially had the first time I saw the Razor Crest, I'm like, that ship is gay. I don't like it. And then as the show went on, I was like, I'm starting to kind of like this thing, dude. It has a carbonite chamber inside of it. Like, this is a bounty hunter ship. I really like it. And so when HasLab came out and they're like, dude, we have this massive Razor Crest. On the inside, it has a carbonite chamber. It's going to come with a bunch of different bounties that you can like put, inside a chamber. You can hang all the carbonite things in it. It's going to be incredible. I was like, dude, I need that thing. And so I bought it. And then like a week later, they're like,
it did. It was literally, you just bought it. They blew the damn thing up.
I just bought it. I put out a video
see it, but
reviewing
the 3-foot front to back Millennium Falcon is behind me. Lego.
I have a Master Replicas 1997 Millennium Falcon waiting for me in Los Angeles. I need it. Anyways, we got to hit these super chats.
Yeah, you got a baby to pay for.
Did Jade die?
Yeah, Jade died.
I got to go to the bathroom. I might come back, but I love the show. Thanks for having me on.
I might come back.
I got to go to the bathroom. I might come back. That sounds bad.
All right, so before I leave, if Jay leaves, I'm going to leave. Jay and I are working on a incredible story, something I want you guys to be a part of. I'm going to give you a little taste. There is a story coming out next year, early next year, that Jay and I have been working on. If you want updates on what is going on, Jay and I are creating a beautiful story about a pirate who's a little bit like, you know what? Jay Griff's better than anyone. Just go.
I mean, I think the teaser trailer speaks for itself. We have a pirate adventure book coming out probably early next year. We've been working on it since Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny, and it's something you've never seen before. It's an adventure story of a young man.
Not Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah,
it's not a whole bunch of Hollywood BS.
I thought he wanted me to do it, but yeah. That there is a crown of thorns on that Jolly Roger, and it will be fully explained when you understand the story. But we're gonna have it's gonna have a massive program, from 9 Line Apparel on. There's just gonna be a big push because a lot of people believe in this story. They love what they've seen so far, and it's just book 1 out of a trilogy that could potentially be something that carries through. So just think Indiana Jones, as a pirate. Religious
Indiana
relics,
Jones,
things
Assassin's
like that.
Creed, Star Wars, all the beautiful things about a story.
There ain't no Star Wars in that crap. But
I'm talking about the hero's journey.
Just give it away. We also instituted real pirates in the timelines, so you get a little taste of history with our hero Jonathan Reed. You're gonna love it. It's something I've been very excited about and looking forward to. After the launch of Achromatic Chronicles Green, it'll be all on Daughter's Revenge. And trust me when I say, this is one you don't want to miss. So
awesome.
There are people out there right now that love this story so much that they've tattooed that logo on their body.
Seen it? I saw it on X.
Oh, quite a few. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
I don't want to give away too much.
Nothing else.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe make sure you're subscribed to the History of Pirates channel because we will start doing videos, giving a little backstory of each of the characters, the ships used, things like that. to help
X-Wing
you
had that in the
story.
ready, waiting for
Yeah,
me.
you did.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Had that in the chat. Please go subscribe to the History of Pirates. It's now a channel that Jay and I are working on together. We're going to bring you a lot of fun
joint property.
It's a really fun channel. I've been going back and watching videos from way back and like catching up. Like it's the production quality. What Jay does, he doesn't want me tooting his horn, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
It's okay. I fixed it.
Yeah, there you go. It's covering up Jay right now, so he can't retort.
It's all good.
No, but it's a great channel. You guys should go check it out. It really is a fun channel. I love that. I mean, I love that kind of stuff too. I'm not into it as deep as you are. I don't know all the lore like you do, the history, the real history of it, but you do such a great job, and you're so passionate about that subject matter. It really comes through in the videos, and it's so much fun. And I mean that genuinely. It's excellent.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And you're not going to want to miss what we have coming up. I mean, this is going to be your opportunity to be in a story, to own a piece of history, to own replica money, replica pirate swords, and be part of a community.
Dare call that a replica sword.
Anyway, all right, I gotta go, y'all, because I don't know why.
We're having a lot of fun. We're creating. So the story that we're making, we're actually creating real, awesome, tangible collectibles that come along with this project. So it's not just a makeup funny sword that people just like grind out of steel. It's not just a coin that's just pressed in a stamp or anything like that. We're making real collectibles that come along with this story that would be made as they would have been made for the characters that are in the story themselves. We're hand forging swords as a collectible for the story. We're casting real pieces of 8 for this story.
Wait, you are forging them?
I'm hand forging blades for this story. Yes.
Okay.
Sir.
All right. Wait. I want to be your first customer.
There's a list about 100 people.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say anything, Valiant. There are people that are like, I don't care what you're charging. I will pay 5 times or 10 times the amount because we know it's only a limited supply. Like I think it's like 6. And I'm kind of like, hey, listen, let's just get it done first, and then we'll see what we'll do. But
y'all better pay X-Wing some good money.
There's a guy that was like, he wants to give us the money today, and it's like way more than what we probably were going to charge. And I said, no, we're going to wait. We're going to wait and see because, he's been watching X-Wing's videos of forging and everything. He's like, nah, I got to have it. I don't care. I don't care.
I would love to have an X-Wing original. So you guys out there in chat, you guys that want this, bid it up because Valiant Renegade's coming to play.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like I have to clear my name really quick, just very quickly. There are 10,000 people out there who make blades for sale on websites. And they go, hey, it's a handcrafted sword. This is a handcrafted blade, blah, blah, blah. And they try to tell you that this is a handmade sword and blah, 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 and stuff like this. And it's all a lie. It's a lie. I am a blacksmith. This tattoo that's on my arm right here.
Yeah, I know.
Is for the Nevada Blacksmiths Guild of Northern Nevada. If somebody has enough money, they can take a piece of steel, cut it out with a jigsaw, flat grind that thing until it's about where it needs to be, and then cut in a grind with you could use a grizzly grinder, a wheel grinder to make a blade.
It's not real.
Those people are fake. They're disgusting. They piss me off. It literally sends me to the ends of the earth. I get so mad about that because there are men out there who have taken their time to learn the art of blacksmithing, which is different than bladesmithing. I was a blacksmith when I came to learn how to, get a piece of metal hot and hit it and do stuff. when I became a blacksmith, I learned how to make tongs. I learned how to make hammers. I learned how to make axes. I became a blacksmith. I married my wife. Funnily enough, I met her in a blacksmith shop. And my father-in-law taught me how to make blades, how to make blades correctly, how to make real blades, not fake BS stainless steel crap, CNC milled pieces of shit, terrible blades, horrible stuff. We as people have forgotten how to make blades. We've forgotten. And we're willing to go to Amazon and go buy a piece of crap where you cut a tomato and the knife loses its edge after you cut a tomato. It pisses me off to no end. And so when I decided to take this project on to make 6 swords, every single one of these blades will have all of my heart, my love, all of everything I have as a blacksmith and everything I've learned as a bladesmith to be the most beautiful blades I could make. We have 5160, which is absolutely beautiful steel. We've taken it, we've tempered it, we've pushed it, pulled it, dumped it in some kind of weird oil that Rick has. I don't know what he has when it comes to tempering the oil. I can't afford it. It's like $500 for a bucket of that oil. We've made some of the most beautiful swords. I don't have woods.
Okay, you know what? Let me do this here because X-Wing's never going to do this for himself. I would like everybody right now. How many do we have? Who's still watching? We still have
indeed
we still have 300 almost people watching. Okay, go on to X and tag X-Wing and tag Netflix right now because we need to get X-Wing on Forged in Fire. For the love of God.
Now, Rick was already on there. Dude, screw that show.
No, but,
Rick was already on there. Forged in Fire is trash.
We could make that episode the biggest episode Netflix has.
They lie.
Okay.
Anyway, guys, you're going to love this book. You're going to love everything that we put together. You're going to love it. I'm telling you, it is a story. This ain't for kids. You want to get the kids' book, Achromatic Chronicles Green, should be available in maybe 10 days. And, this one's for the adults. It's for all the pirate lovers, for the history lovers. It's for those that loved Indiana Jones and hate what happened to it at the last final film. It's everything that you want in this story. All the old mythologies that you loved, we put in this story, and I am beyond excited to get it into everyone's hands. It's going to be unbelievable, and all the extra stuff that's coming with it, to the best man win or lady. So. And you will be able to get this shirt at Nine Line Apparel in just a few months. There you go.
That's going to be coming out shortly.
Enjoy. Much love to you guys. Rissman, always good to see you, my friend.
Ciao, buddy.
Y'all have a great Star Wars chit chat.
Ain't gonna be much more of it at this point.
I was gonna say I'm fading too. So we'll finish this trailer and then we might have to wrap it. X-Wing.
It's for the pirates. It's for the history lovers. It's all that. Just not for the butt pirates. So it just. Yeah.
I think after this ends and you guys boot, I think I'm gonna talk about sword making for
You should.
Yeah. It's really very interesting.
It is. I have a bunch of videos I'll pull up.
I would be
some
interested
fun stuff that
in
I've done.
commissioning you for a custom project.
Would you?
Yeah, I would.
Can't afford it.
Okay.
Dude. Okay. So here's what I'll say. First off, I have no time. So right now I'm writing the script for Daughter's Revenge. Through September, I'm done. I have no time. I have to get it done. And then after September hits, I have to go and literally create something that's never been created and create these swords that fit into this comic book. So I'm taking brass. I spent, I think, $275 on these brass sheets to learn how to make brass handguards for a cutlass. I've never made one.
Yeah.
And it turns out brass is a bitch to work with.
Yeah.
I spent about, I think
It's
it
very
was
different material.
I spent 2 hours. So I spent 2 hours. I took this piece of brass, hammered it out kind of flat, cut it through with a jigsaw, and then took a file, started to like, you know, get the openings worked. I told my father-in-law, I was like, hey, let's open this up a little bit more. Let's open up the side a little bit more. And so we get the torch on it, and the brass goes, fucking completely opens. It was like $75 worth of brass broken.
That's look, that's the hard part of blacksmithing. Apart from the time element, it's the cost element. It's a very, very, it's a consuming endeavor and passion.
Blacksmithing is easy if you're trained. Creating ornamental shit out of metal is ridiculously hard.
Yeah, it is.
I'll bang out a hammer for you in an hour. I can make a pair of tongs for you in 2 hours. You know, shit like that, no problem. Creating ornamental hand guards for a fucking cutlass, get out of town, dude. It's tough.
Well, but that's why those guys that can do it and create these artistic weapons. I mean, think about the smiths that made you know, the custom stuff for Lord of the Rings and all this kind of stuff. I mean, that's why they get paid what they do, because they are super skilled, and that is an art that is
you can
not
go
easily
to
replicated.
so like there's an armor museum in Switzerland at the base of a castle, and I think it's not Neuchâtel, Bellanzano, Switzerland, I think is where I was at. You look at what these guys were able to do with twigs, fire, and metal, and you're like, they created, it looks like Elden Ring. It looks like I mean, it curved through their toes. It was articulated with their hands. The shit that they were able to do with nothing but, you know, a hammer, a little bit of steel, and some rivets. It was insane. Those guys are incredible. I strive to be that. I wish I could be that. I can't.
All right, we're finishing the trailer, and then I gotta go.
Yeah, sorry, I'm hammered. All right, let's go. All right, we got through it. This pissed me off.
Let's easy. Let's easy. So, I mean, that's
Why throw in the what are they called?
They're Anzellans.
No, the what was the famous one called?
Babu Freak.
Babu Freak.
Yeah, his Anzellan friends from Navarro.
Anzellans. I had to work those in, right?
Of course, they're cute. Again, they're cuteness overload, right? That's where they
money.
Always.
Yeah. All right, my friend, I gotta go.
All right, boys, have a good night. Valiant Renegade, thank you for being here. I appreciate you, buddy. Moff Rissman, my dude.
My pleasure. A lot of fun.
And you hit me up tonight. It's like, I can't do it this late.
Yeah, I hit him up last night. I was like, let's do it. And he's like, no, I can't. You know, my daughter's getting baptized tomorrow. And I said, well, the baptism can be rescheduled. Come on, you gotta go.
He doesn't need to be on the stream.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I'm glad to know, you know, like, from an old school New Orleans Catholic family, you know, I appreciate that. So I know how that goes. I know how the family stuff works. And look, there's still 236 people.
A lot of people here today.
Watching. Yeah.
A lot of people here today.
A lot of people
Beautiful
here.
People.
I
biggest
hope
crowd ever.
Some people come the best.
I hope this was a lot of spillover from the Renegade Online show, the Renegade Nation.
It was a lot of love.
It was great. Look, here's the deal. I got to cut out. I got first real day of school tomorrow for 2 of the Renegade kids, the ones that are still here. I apologize for having to step out earlier a couple of times. The oldest Renegade kid is going back for her sophomore year at college.
I'm out.
There was some stuff.
Good night, Rissman.
Going on. See you, Rissman. So I had to take care of that. But look, appreciate y'all being here. If you haven't done it yet, I'm sure y'all probably hit the like button for this show. And if you haven't done the extra step yet of hitting the subscribe button to X-Wing, for the love of God, please sub to X-Wing. I don't want him to pass me up, but he might. But it will,
I'm gonna hold the rest of this chat hostage.
There you go. Hold the rest of the chat out. They're fine. They're fine. They're fine. They'll live.
They're gonna learn about making a blade. That's gonna be the rest of this. We've been going on for 2.5 hours.
Do that on a live show here. Simulcast it. What is your actual blacksmithing, bladesmithing page? What's the name of it?
I don't have one.
I thought you said you had another channel where you did that.
No. I made
what the fuck are you doing then?
I made 2 videos for my father-in-law but like anybody who knows bladesmithing at all, if you hear the name Mureka Mamasi, this guy is an absolute savage. I made a video with him, and then I think I made another video with somebody else. I don't know, but it's Rick Hall Knives. That's the guy I'm collaborating with to make these.
Dude, those how-to videos, those bladesmithing, blacksmithing videos get stupid views.
How to make a fucking blade? Like, who has a 200-pound anvil in their living room? How to?
Yeah, but those look. You got to set up another channel for that. You got to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. My ideal is that if you're enjoying it and you're doing it already, then put a camera in there and put it up. I mean, look, I've got I've been filming for at least the last year, more than that, but at least the last year and a half of me and Renegade Jr. on the fishing boat. Because I was like, we're going to go fishing anyway. We might as well bring DJIs and GoPros and film everything. So we've just been collecting footage for a year. And we're going to collect footage. We're going to keep collecting footage. And eventually, in the next year or so, we're going to have the Renegade Outdoors channel. Because why not? That's a big thing. It's like, I'm doing this stuff already. Just film it and then get it together and put it out. Do the same thing with your bladesmithing, man. You've already got the audience here on YouTube, so you'll have your own audience here that loves to watch you. Plus, you'll have a whole new audience that just loves to watch.
So I guess it's more just like I can't do that, but I want to see somebody else do it.
In what way? Like somebody else do the work to film it?
Why would I make a how-to video if somebody doesn't know or have the things to do it?
A lot of people like me, like I don't bladesmith. I don't melt metal. But some of my favorite stuff
I don't
to
either.
watch,
That's a really bad bladesmith. If you melt the metal, that's a really bad bladesmith.
Well, I wasn't trying to conflate the issues. My point is this. I love to watch Japanese sword masters in old forges, coal forges, sit there and bang out.
I'm a coal forger.
Yeah, Tamagahane, blades from that kind of stuff. I don't know how to do it. I'll never do it.
You just want to watch somebody do it.
I want to watch an artist make their work. And it's just the same way like Big Stack D from Australia, like where he melts stuff. Like every Friday, he puts out a new video. Big Stack D.
Everybody keeps saying melting metal. You don't melt metal as blacksmiths ever.
No. This is a different thing. Like Big Stack D from Australia, all he does every Friday morning, he puts out a video where it's like, I went to the salvage yard, I bought another, old broken down motor. I scrapped the copper from it and I melted into bars. Shit like that. Look, people just love to watch stuff like that because it's fascinating.
Old art.
Yeah. It's like these kind of things, like I told my kid, like Renegade Jr., I'm like, you don't have to go to college and be a doctor or a lawyer. You could learn a trade. You could become a welder and make a fortune and have no debt.
I mean,
like shit like this. Welding, plumbing, electrical. It's like, look,
I had to do all that shit. I had to learn all that shit.
And you know what? You know why they pay so much? You know why electricians and dishwasher repairmen and air conditioning guys, when they come out to your house, it's like the minimum charge to show up at your door is now like $150. It's because they can, because that's a lost art. There's shit like that.
So I was
like
an HVAC tech that had to learn welding because of the shit that I did on the ranch. So I was an HVAC tech that had to learn shit while I was on the ranch, and then also started my first real career in plumbing.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you're an HVAC tech, you know everything about electricians, so that knocks that one out of the bat.
Here's the thing, man. This would be a good subject for bro science, I think.
Okay.
Man work is a lost art.
Agreed.
Man, I mean, like, we're gonna go into like the Mike Rowe shit. Like,
I should ask my bro science compatriots if they know anything about outlets in a house.
Yeah,
if they know anything about P-traps, about fucking, angle stock.
Right?
Do they know anything about water heaters?
You're right. Here's the deal. X-Wing, this is perfect for bro science because here's the deal. This is what I would tell, like, if you want to, like, at Valiant as a guest, this is what he can bring. You tell Dan, you tell Beardo, like, look, VR is like, I grew up on some people would call it the blue blood side of things in New Orleans, right? But here's the deal. I grew up half in the city and half on a cattle farm on the weekends. I got the best of both worlds. I grew up learning how to be city boy and country boy. And as I grew up, I also knew that, as an old school man, it's like, look, I can sit here and build a stock portfolio. I can manage hundreds of millions of dollars of clients' assets that I do now, 20 years in my career. But at the same time, I also know how to replace a circuit breaker in an electrical panel. I still know how to pull a P-trap out. I have built an entire bathroom myself. Like, I've installed toilets. I've installed ceiling fans. I've installed sinks.
Toilets in.
I fucking hate put toilets in. But here's the thing,
the wax ring fucking makes me
exactly.
sick.
But here's the deal. I know how to do it. Yeah. So there's men out there. There's men out there that can work in the quote unquote white collar sector. But we still know and love and appreciate how to be blue-collar boys.
I run the entire contractor support for North America. I'm talking Mexico, the United States, and Canada for a company that's based out of Italy. But if my wife goes, hey, some shit's broken, I am paying somebody $500 for it. I know how to fucking do it.
Exactly. That's just it. It's like, no, I can fix the simple stuff. Like, okay, we got a leak out there. I can
introduce the home improvement section to Bro Science.
That would be fun. Because look, the Bro Science stuff about, physicality is great. And look, I'll be honest with you. I felt like
you got to be a fucking man too.
Well,
just lifting hot plates doesn't make you a man.
No. The physicality side is great, but I can tell you that, I mean, like, I'll be 45 years old next month. And a few months ago, let me tell you what, I dislocated the shit out of this shoulder. I slipped off a mountainside. No, slipped off a mountain cliff.
Oh. A mountain cliff?
Yeah. No, you don't believe me? Ask WW Pro.
You were on the Matterhorn?
No. Ask the girls at Force of Light. They were there. They watched me go down the side. We were in Tennessee. And, like, I felt like I've lost a lot of muscle mass in my arms the last 3 months because I can't lift weights because I will re-dislocate this thing. So, but my point is like, the physicality side is great, but I think what would be really cool with Bro Science, and I think could stretch it to a whole new audience, is to talk about like being an OG man. Yeah, it's great to be big and physical and strong, but part of being a man
Can you fucking fix something?
is knowing how to fucking fix things.
Can you fix something?
Can you fucking fix something? Can you?
We're gonna
be a
add
man?
that now as a new segment. Can you fix it?
Yeah, can you fix it? Like, I have a lovely well, I have a lovely Sig Sauer piece of equipment in the other room. That
my dad's a big Sig fan. He loves his Sigs. He's got a whatever it is, a 5226 or something. It's a fat pistol. I mean, the hand grip on that thing is like the tree of Erdu. It's thick as fuck. He loves that thing.
The P229.
I'm a Walther boy.
No, I like Walther too.
Yeah.
But here's the
PPQ's not carry.
But the point is that it's like, you know, I snapped a bolt on that Sig Sauer piece of equipment this week.
Ungraded bolt.
Yeah,
pure Chinese shit.
No, it was totally my fault. Like I drew one bolt out, and I accidentally hit the chuck on the drill, and I put it into forward instead of reverse, and I
broke your fucking wrist.
I sheared the bolt off like halfway through the slide.
Do you have a back out bit?
Well, no, I drew the broken screw out, but I have to go buy a new one. So my point is, like, little shit like that, like, oh, this is guy stuff. Like, men these days, you know as well as I do, that most men that are probably 10 years younger than us don't know how to operate a fucking screwdriver, let alone fix anything.
That's scary shit, dude.
Dude, it's terrible.
I'm like,
I can install a toilet, a sink, a washer, a dryer. I can install a fucking air conditioner in my attic, which I've done. I have replaced stuff.
You can braze?
This is the old school stuff that boys used to know how to do. And now, like, the generate, like, my kid who's 13, let me tell you right now, I will put my 13-year-old son, I will put Renegade Jr. up against any 25-year-old man.
At his high school?
Yeah.
Or even above. Yeah.
Any 25-year-old man in California right now.
Trash.
Right fucking now.
Trash humans.
Dude, I mean, it's like, what is this hammer thing? Like, this is what we're dealing with. I think this would be so cool for bro science, my opinion. It's up to you and Dan.
Thing I like to do is to hand a copper cutter to anyone.
Yeah.
Hand a copper cutter. If you've never seen one before and you hand someone a copper cutter,
you're talking about the vice,
No, I'm talking about the little tiny one. It's about this big. It's got a thumb wheel that tightens it or loosens it. Yeah, a little copper cutter. You hand that to someone. If they don't know what that is, they can't fix anything.
No
shot.
Yeah, that's just it. It's a lost art. And every day that goes by, unfortunately, in 2024, and it's been like this for years, every day that goes by, men are less and less men. Yeah. And it's time to bring men back.
That's what I was. So unfortunately, I have a daughter.
Yeah.
I guarantee you she's going to be tougher than most of the dudes I know out there.
It's not, look, I had to excuse myself tonight because I have a 19-year-old, almost 19-year-old, that, you know, she's going into her second year in college, and she was like, okay, we have dorm issues and all this. You know, we do this stuff for our girls. You're at the other end of the scale that I am. I'm 45 years old almost. You know, my oldest is going to be 19 in less than a month. My youngest just turned 13 in May. So, you know, I've got 3 kids as a dad, raising them to be adults. And like I tell my girls, I'm like, look.
And in today's age.
I've told them, I'm like, I hate to tell you, there ain't a lot of real men out there in your generation that you're going to find. You're going to struggle. And my oldest one has already struggled enough. You know, like with
fuck boys, my guy. They're fuck boys.
An ex-boyfriend that we wanted her to get rid of because, well, he was a complete piece of shit.
My father-in-law jumped on me like a fucking thirsty Southerner and a beignet.
But that
He
was
like,
back in our day. Like, dads didn't like.
What do
the
you mean
boys.
our day? I'm fucking 33 years old.
Okay, that's my point. Our day is not that long ago. But my
He's
point
like,
is,
you're not a retard.
My father-in-law didn't like me either. But this is the point. It's like it's so different now. It's like the dads of our day, like when we were dating our wives, like the dads of our day, they didn't like us because we were dating their daughters. Now, we don't like I don't like some of the boys dating our daughters because they're literally not even half a man. They're like
half is gracious.
They're basically, it's like, oh yeah, here's an 18-year-old kid that still acts like he's fucking 9. He's like some little sniveling piece of shit. I'm like,
my father-in-law.
I gotta tell my daughter, if you marry, it's like, not because I don't like you dating this kid and I think y'all are doing stuff. It's like, no, if you stay with this kid's a pussy.
My father-in-law is 6'4". He was a PRCA, Professional Rodeo Cowboy Association.
Damn.
Bulldogger.
Yeah.
So his legs weigh about 20 pounds. And then from his hips up is about 340 pounds. His fucking fists are about from here to here. He's a fucking massive human being. And that's why he's a really good blacksmith, is because, he sat in a saddle. His legs didn't have to do anything.
He's like, well, jumped. I can pick up a 40-pound ball peen and fuck it.
He jumped on an animal at 40 miles an hour and fucking drug its nose into the ground and said, fuck you, I'm the man. Like, that's my father-in-law. And if you see his fists, they're literally, they're about that big.
Yeah.
He's a huge motherfucker.
That's just it. It's like men.
And I was afraid of him. And I was like, you know what? I got to be a man. Because I love his daughter and I better be a fucking man to that man if I want to take his daughter.
That's it. It's that, like, back in the day, and we're getting too much into bro science. This is the great conversation to have. Is back in the day.
I hope not. I'm 33.
Is that back in the day? That was the thing. Is that, like, the men that we grew up with, we had to earn their respect.
100%.
And it's like
we were real.
Yeah, we were afraid because it was like we had to prove ourselves as real men to earn the respect of themselves. Because it was like, I mean, when I was going to propose to my wife now 22 almost years ago, it was like, did you ask her father? Like, how many men today are told you better talk to her father first? Because, like, dude, that was the shit back in my day. I mean, that was just 20-something years ago. It was.
I had to ask her father.
The way you describe your wife's father, you better have asked him first. Because he would have fucking pounded you into dust.
Yeah.
But that's my point, is like we're missing that now. We're missing that respect. And that is part of chivalry. That's part of being a gentleman and part of being a man. And it's a fucking lost art.
Lost.
I know,
it's
totally
lost. It's
totally
disgusting.
Lost.
And if some little cockbag tries to take my daughter underneath my nose, I'm going to prison.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you again, as your friend and as a man who is a little bit further along than you are. Again, I have a almost 19-year-old and an almost 17-year-old daughter. And they are
era.
They are lookers in all candor. And I know it. And this is not just me being, dad always tells you. No, they're lookers. And I'm like, they know. And I think that's part of the reason why they're very skeptical about dating. Because it's like, my daddy is going to shoot a motherfucker.
Yeah, where's that SIG hat you were wearing the whole time?
Yeah, well, now I'm wearing the 199. Hail to the 199 out there. Jeremy gave me this one himself, so I'm like, I got to throw this out. But no, it's like, let's see. What do we want? We've got the M&P Shield Smith & Wesson. We've got the P229.
I wasn't a huge fan.
I will shoot you. I will shoot a guy.
Is that the 30 Beretta?
No, this is a 22 Ruger. This is my alligator gar gun.
Golly.
No, this is what we shoot the alligator gar with on the boat.
That's fair. Yeah, just don't carry it.
You can't use. No, I never carry that one except on the boat. The only reason I have that pistol is to, if I go out, I've got 30 acres of property.
With you, dude.
Oh, it's so much fun. No, if I go out to my property in a beta, that's great because I actually have rat shot, a 22 rat shot, like BBs in the bullet.
Rat shot. 22
it's
rat shot.
Like
it's like a 410, but a 22.
It's a 22 with like pellets in it, like BBs.
Yeah, it's a 410, but in a 22. It's snake shot in a 22.
It's snake and critter shot, but then when I'm on the boat, I've got my defensive rounds that are basically a hollow point, and they're designed to just wreck a gar. As soon as we pull the gar up out of the water, blam. Well, we did it a couple weeks ago. I got it on camera. It's going to be coming out on the new channel.
I saw that gar. You sent me the pictures.
Yeah, we got a video of me shooting it. Yeah. So, yeah. All right. The audio, look, there's still over 200. The last 20 minutes.
I know they want to see me do the blacksmithing stuff.
I know, and they're listening us talk about being men and guns and stuff. Look, this is the thing.
That's bro science.
This is bro science right here, brother. It's not just about physicality. It's about being bro.
This is about country ball science.
Dude, there is a hunger in this country for shows like Bro Science. I think that's why it's been so popular.
Well,
there's a huge hunger for men to come back and be fucking men.
Here's what I'll say.
Yeah.
There is absolutely a hunger for Bro Science, for sure.
Yeah.
That show is missing me actually talking about who I am.
So
we talk a lot about lifting weights and we talk a lot about stuff like that. We don't ever talk about a dude like me in the saddle that had to deal with the shit that I was dealing with when I was growing up, when it comes to, rough situations, when you got a calf who's running down, he's sick, you got somebody who's got a broken leg, or you got an abscess on the back of a calf. I mean, bringing beef to people who need it.
I think that's the next thing to expand the audience over, because y'all do that show once a week.
Yeah, Wednesdays.
Yeah. Okay,
I don't want to bring that kind of stuff into Bro Science because they won't get that.
Well, here's the thing though, and look, I'm not trying to hone in on it. I'm not trying to push it, but this is me as a businessman, as a marketing man. That brain is going off. You've created a really good foundation, and look, talking about
business.
No, my point is that talking about the lifting and all that kind of stuff is awesome. It's great. People want to hear that, but I feel like don't limit yourself to that. Yeah. Turn it into like the man show. I'm not saying change the name. Right?
You remember?
I think Bro Science is awesome.
With Adam Carolla and
that was the man show.
The man show.
That was the man show. I threw that out there.
They never talked about stuff that Cowboys did or anything.
I just meant like talk about men things. Like I think Bro Science is a badass name. I think it's wonderful. I think it's a great show. It's just I think like I'm thinking of this from a standpoint of how you can expand this. And bring in like Bro Science should become, if it was me, I would turn it into all things man.
That's the goal.
Part of that is being.
I don't really have a lot of opportunities to punch in and be like, hey, I remember when I was at the base of the fucking Shasta Mountains and we had 225 calves of fucking Hereforders that were coming across.
If y'all are voting to move it and kind of change things up, I mean, look, I'm not trying to hone in. I'm just saying this is me thinking out loud. Throw it at Beardo, throw it at Dan. Those are really two cool, great dudes on YouTube. I think this would be a lot of fun. And who knows? Maybe they have some experiences of their own like that as guys.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe from a different angle, because I know they're not dads and husbands. I can't say husbands. I don't know if they're married or not, but I don't think either of them are dads.
Dan has a husband. Yeah.
Dan has. I'm not saying anything.
I want to share my stories about Cowboy. And But it's just like it never, the opportunity never comes up.
Well, here's the thing: is maybe if you plan a show,
can't,
it's like
you can't be like a guy who's like, yeah, I love when I'm working my traps out, and I'm like, yeah, I remember that one time I was next to a river, and my horse took a bad step, and he ducked into the river, and blah blah blah, and I had a blah.
Well, here's the thing, and this could be a fun moneymaker, is that like where you do a bro science show once a week, like you're doing now, like don't change it, and leave it as we're going to talk about working out, we're going to talk about the gym and all this kind of stuff, and then have another bro science show, like I do a Sunday show and a Wednesday show. Do another bro science show that's talking about man science, bros. I mean, just from the standpoint of marriage, raising kids, being a man, being a proper man.
I'm the only one that can speak on that.
I can throw in every now and again. No, my point is that I think that'd be fun. Look, there's a hunger out there. If I had time to do it my own show like that, I probably would. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And I think a lot of people would watch. I think you would be shocked if you did that show for like 3 to 6 months, the fucking response you'd get.
Yeah.
Because there's
it's already
hunger out there.
Dude.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I see the numbers on Bro Science. I'm like, what the fuck? It's Beardo's channel. Nobody likes fucking Beardo.
He's got like 6,000 subs.
I'm sorry. I'm kidding,
like, hey,
Beardo.
Throat fuck a woman the second you meet her. I'm like, how are you doing so well?
No, I think it'd be a blast. I think it'd be fun. So people
let's get some.
I see John out there. Audiophile show VR.
Let's get some. They're talking about lifting weights. Let's get some real country boy, real man shit. Let
me tell you what. I'll give you a good example, and this might help maybe Beardo and Vask kind of get it. Look at some of the responses, like when Tugs and X-Ray Girl do like the Poor Choices shows, and they have the dad show on. Like I've been on their dad show a couple times. Like
there's a dad show.
Yeah, well, it's Poor Choices, but they love to have the boys on every now and again to talk about like being a man and being dad and being a married man. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but when I was on their show, they had one of the biggest audiences they ever had. And literally for an hour and a half, all we did was talk about like me being a dad.
That's so hot to them.
But their audience is mostly men.
Yeah.
So that's my point. If they can draw that kind of crowd with men talking about being men, being dads, being real men, fuck, look at what would happen. Think about what would happen.
Funny about the audience for Bro Science? Yeah. It's almost all over 45 women in Europe.
Is it really? Oh my God. Well, then if you did a show talking about men being men and talking about that, would even be hotter to them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're watching the show because Beardo, Vask, you guys are attractive dudes. I'll fuck it up if I come on there. But the point is, if y'all get into talking about like, okay, instead of just working out, like let's talk about how men can be real men and how men can treat women with, respect, and how men can be good fathers and raise daughters. Dude, if you really have that kind of audience out there, it'd fucking go lit.
So what I want to do with
there's
the
a
boys,
hunger out there for it. Yeah.
So Dan's got a really good repertoire, obviously, with the wilderness because he was in the Brazilian military. It's still not as good as mine. I promise you, it's not as good as mine.
Probably not.
So we gotta talk about that stuff. We never talk about that stuff.
We could.
We talk about fucking chest presses and flies and fucking, I don't like how that fat bitch was in a video.
I used to do that all the time, and then COVID hit and screwed up my routine, and the kids got older into their teenage years, and they were in between, the ages where they were like, they need to go to all these activities, but they couldn't drive yet. Well, now my two girls, my oldest girls, my 17-year-old and 19-year-old, they both drive now. It's just Renegade Jr. who's 13. So things
I can't
are
imagine my
shifting.
daughter
Dude,
driving. It scares the fuck out of me.
I pay over $800 a month for fucking car insurance. Let me tell you about that. This is why I do YouTube. I do YouTube to pay the taxes on my fucking real job.
Please make sure that you super chat my friend Valiant Renegade when you see him live.
Fuck that. Super chat X-Wing Ray. Well, y'all super chatted me earlier tonight. Support this asshole.
AWM Trends Entertainment TV for $9.99 says, truly inspiring to hear about all these fellow nerds are creating their own art and entertainment. I have a few interesting ideas, and seeing all you go for it is pushing me to make moves. Just subbed. Thank you. Yeah, I am legitimately in the throes of trying to write a 250-page script for a book. I've never done it before, and it is a pain in the ass. It is really rough. Wicked Virtue for 5.
Hey, Amanda.
Super sticker. Good to see you, Sissa. Sean Carter for 2 says, I like potty
mouth.
Pooth.
Potty mouth Valiant. Yeah.
Pooth. I like Pooth. John Cuckask?
Cuckask.
Love you, VR. Have a great week, guys.
He's always on my channel.
Brother.
I need to get Amanda back on
we
soon.
got this one. And then John Cucksack says, okay, guys, country question, Ford or Chevy? So you and I are going to find out if we're friends or not right now.
Okay,
go ahead.
No, you first.
We both said go ahead. Ford.
I literally no. I'm not saying that to be bullshitting. I've been driving Ford Explorers for the last 15 years.
I grew up in a Ford Explorer, and I have drove an F-250 since I was 16.
There you go. One of my best friends, when we go up to the farm in St. Francisville, he's got a Ford F-250, the diesel, with the full trailer package because he's got to pull 7,500-pound horse trailers and shit on that. So yeah. So no, we're Ford
I love my Ford. What I will tell you, when it comes to older trucks, though, I'll take an old Chevy over an old Ford.
Depending on the years,
new Ford over an old Chevy.
I would tend to agree with you. I'm not like brand like crazy like that. Like
I'm
all Ford and fuck Chevy, but yeah, I go with whatever's reliable. But I hear what you're saying. Yeah, there was some back in the day, but I love my Explorer. I love the current Ford trucks, the F-150s, the F-250s. They're awesome. I mean, look, there's a reason that Ford got out of the car business. They're literally just now in the truck business, and that's it. And there's also a reason why the Ford
F-150 Dodge boofed. Wasn't it Dodge? Now Ram.
Yeah.
Ram truck. Like, what the fuck is a Ram truck?
There's a reason why the F-150 is still the best-selling vehicle in the country, basically.
Because it works.
Exactly.
I bought a Dodge when I was 17. I bought a Dodge 1500. I ran that thing into 2 trees, a telephone pole. I fucked that thing up. I mean, worse, and it still ran. I actually had baling wire holding the shroud for my cooling fan for the radiator.
Oh, God.
I took fucking baling wire and held it up, and that thing ran. It ran until it didn't. I got rid of it, and I bought a Ford.
God,
and I never turned back. Yeah. I never turned back. That Ford, I mean, those Fords, I had one. I didn't change the oil on, and it died.
The drivetrains on those things won't quit unless you really fuck them up. Like, if you deliberately neglect them or you're so retarded you don't know what to do do
I had the Triton.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember
Triton.
Those. Yeah.
It was like a 03 or a 4 or whatever it was when I bought the Triton. I ran that thing into the ground, and then now I have an 06 F-250.
There you go.
That Great I truck. Love. I mean, I bought it at 93,000 miles. I think it's at 105 now.
Oh, you haven't driven it at all then, basically.
I bought that thing 9 years ago.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the kind of truck, like when Renegade Jr. probably in about a little over 3 years from now, when he gets his driver's license, it's like, here's, I want a truck. I'm like, I know why you want a truck, because all we do is pull boats and go fishing and go to the country.
Yeah.
That's what he loves. I'm like, great, because you know why? That's the cheapest fucking vehicle to possibly insure here in Louisiana, because everything else is batshit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, you're gonna get like a, he will get like a 2003 Ford pickup truck. Like, we'll get one that runs, the engine works. I'm like, that's going to be your first car.
Run it into the ground.
That's just it. It's like, it doesn't matter. You're
dude.
16 years old. You're going to hit shit. You're going to run into things. You're going to fuck it up.
Fuck it up.
Like, my daughter goes to school with kids that literally drive.
Give him a Ranger.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Dude, the Ford Ranger is unbeatable.
He's going to have, he's going to have friends in high school. Like my daughter, where she goes to high school now, she drives a $13,000 4-year-old used Hyundai Elantra. She goes to school with kids in her class that are driving $80,000 Mercedes brand new. Like that kind of school.
Bags.
Exactly. And I'm like, she's like, you have a fucking car? Does it drive? Shut the fuck up and stop bothering me. I'm not that your friends. I'm not buying you because I'm sorry that your friends' parents are fucking retarded. And you have friends.
I'm gonna buy my kid a fucking Audi.
Yeah,
the retard who doesn't even know how to go-kart is
exactly.
You're gonna buy him an Audi?
Exactly. It's like, I'm sorry that you have friends whose fathers are fucking retarded and don't have functional dicks.
Yeah.
It's like, well, my wife gave me a blowjob last night, so I'll get whatever she wants. No, it's not happening. I have to work for a living. No, it's not going to happen. These are still teenage kids. They don't need $80,000 cars. I'm
going to tell you right now, if I had $10 million in my bank account, you know what I'm buying my kid? A Chevy S10 manual.
Yeah. There you go. Learn to drive a stick.
Learn to drive a fucking car.
I loved my 5-speed cars. I had a 5-speed Pontiac Grand Am and I had a 5-speed Honda Civic.
Yeah.
My first 2 cars.
Learn to fucking drive a car. Yeah. And then you can appreciate it when you hit the gas pedal and can stare at TikTok while you run into the back of somebody else's fucking car.
Yeah. I'm so like, I literally have clients that I manage their money for who make less money than I do, whose children, in some cases, drive more expensive cars than I personally fucking drive.
Dude.
It's like, do you wonder why you can't retire? You wonder why I keep giving you advice like you can't?
You can't retire insurance premiums
because you won't fucking listen to me. It's like because you buy your kids expensive stuff, and it's like,
what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, pretty much. And it's like, oh well, my kid's gonna go to this school and that school. We're gonna pay for all their college expenses. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not 1975 anymore. It's 2024. You can't. This is bro science, kids. This is how dads have to do stuff. This is legit bro science. What we're talking about right now. Yeah,
real adults.
Yeah. Men need to be fucking men again and get control of shit.
Do you believe in this channel?
Do I believe in your channel?
My channel.
I totally. Why am I
it's so
here?
funny. A lot of people. So a lot of people don't know. Valiant and I actually go back a long time. We go back
like 3 years at least.
Yeah, about 3 years.
Yeah.
You were no one.
Yeah.
And then
I still am nobody.
You fought your way up to the high towers. You're a high tower.
They told me to sit aside, and I said, "Fuck you, I shall rise."
If you have not, anyone here, there's 190 people here. Please go to Valiant Renegade. I think about 182 of the people that are here are from your channel, so I appreciate that. But go ahead,
they stuck around. Yeah,
please.
We don't get to hang out like this enough and just fuck off,
I love
man. This is fun. Like I can't. Like my show, we always do the business stuff, and I have to go hang out on other people's channels to just go like chill,
dude.
I love doing the business stuff on my channel, but I love chilling too.
Dude talks are missing.
Yeah.
From this world.
Yeah.
But
you could make a lot of clips from this.
You have to say that you believe.
I believe.
Do you believe? Chat?
I believe. I
Chat?
believe.
Chat? Do you believe?
Dust, Tinkerbell, Pixie Dust.
Chat?
I believe.
Chat has. Do you believe? J for 5 says, "How does it go?"
I believe I can fly. Okay, I won't.
Where the men are men and the sheep are scared.
You
believe?
We don't have enough sand here for that one.
Believe.
My time has come. You must continue your journey without me.
What are you? What? Master! You can't leave me!
You must believe.
Master!
Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight for a wonderful, wonderful live stream. I love you. Have a good night. Be kind to your neighbors. Have a wonderful week. It's Sunday, 9:14 for you guys on the East Coast. It is 12:14. It's already Monday. Be good to your friends. Be good to your significant other. Be a good person. I love you. Have a wonderful night. And ciao.